Welcome back, y'all. This is episode 162 of Clash. Sibling Rivalry Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Night Hoot. That's Tiz. I have a question for him. That's why I'm rushing through the intros.
What's up?
Tiz, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Oh my god, I'm gonna forget. Oh my god, I'm forgetting the question.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It'll come back to real time.
No!
Real time memory wipe.
I should have wrote it down.
Real time page fault in the RAM.
And as I'm sitting here, I'm realizing that I don't have my notes.
Oh no.
They're in the other room. I'm literally gonna go get my notes.
All right. I'll just talk to the people while you're gone.
I need them.
She's going to get her notes. Hopefully, in those notes is also the question that she wanted to ask me because I'm mad curious now. But yeah, how y'all doing out there? It's always kind of weird to hold it down when there's not another person here because I'm not like the best at talking to myself. And oh yeah, there she is. She's back. I think I was able to successfully kill time until she got back. She's putting her headphones on. Okay.
Are you terrible at stalling?
Yes.
Is that what I was hearing?
Yes.
You're terrible at stalling.
I was telling them how I was terrible at stalling.
That was totally my bad.
And then when you got back, I was narrating what you were doing.
They were in front of the television. I had to go get them. All right. But yeah.
What's the question there in the notes?
No.
Dang.
It was something about like setting up and something like annoying that you have to do over.
Setting up what? Don't even know.
Yeah, I see too
not
many
even
questions.
A clue, not even a hint.
not even a clue. It may or may not come back to me in this episode.
Rip.
Stay tuned to find out.
It'll come back mid our weeks.
If you've ever lost a thought midway of asking it, a question, midway of asking that question, you should email us. Because when you have that question in you can email us at siblingrivalryclash@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at srclash, which is what I should have done right away. As soon as I had the question. Tweet it at srclash_pod. Help! Didn't do that.
Gotta write it down
from my mistakes.
Somewhere.
Right.
Got to. Always.
But yeah, so getting right to it, I'm going to go ahead and ask you what you did this week so that I can perhaps be remembered of what I was going to ask you.
So I pretty much, I'm going to start off saying I no-life Diablo 4 beta this weekend last weekend.
You were like, I can't do anything. Goodbye,
Bruh.
sister.
I cannot wait for this game to come out. Oh my gosh. Like, you ever just feel the itch being scratched that you've been longing to have scratched? But then at the same time, you got to wait like 3 more months to fully scratch the itch because you're just getting.
That's why I did not play the RE demo
early. Yeah.
Yes.
So now I'm at a really sad spot now where the beta's ending. I pretty much like capped out stuff you can do in the beta, so there's kind of not a lot left to do. And they're gonna wipe progress anyway. So
Stop cleaning up.
Huh?
Nobody asked you to come in there and clean up.
I had to.
Stop
like,
it.
It's and I really think the beta was the full game too because it was like 70 gigs, but they just had stuff locked off, which is kind of even more like teasy. Like, here, look, the whole map is here. We're gonna block you from walking there.
But look, it exists.
But no, overall, I really love this game. I think in probably 80% of aspects, it's an improvement over Diablo 3. There are a few things that were in Diablo 3 that I at least didn't see in the beta that I would have liked to have been carried over, but if they're not carried over, I kind of understand why. So the whole thing with this game versus like Diablo 3 is Diablo 3 was like the biggest drastic change in the series in terms of like art style and like tone of the game. It was very bright and colorful and like almost comedic in a lot of, not comedic, but almost like lighthearted in a lot of ways. Like the demons were very like goofy, and they themselves, their designs were still kind of grotesque, but they were like colorfully grotesque, almost like comic booky. But this, and a lot of the community, it was like a big old polarizing thing when that game was first shown off and first came out. People were like, oh, this isn't Diablo, blah, 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 blah. But then people came to love the game because it's still the same gameplay and all that stuff. But 4, what they're doing is they're going back to like their roots or whatever with the dark aesthetic and like the gritty and like more grounded down to earth vibe, which I think it seems like people are taking to it, and a lot of people are loving it because it's very reminiscent of Diablo 2, which is, I guess, like you could say the fan favorite Diablo, or like the most critically acclaimed Diablo game. And so this does feel tonally like a lot like that game, which I'm not on either side of that. Like, I like it. I did like Diablo 3 a lot for its cartooniness, and I also like this one a lot for its realism. But one thing to note with this one is the graphics are insane. Like, definitely PS5 level, definitely next gen. Like, you can see, this is the first Diablo game where you have a character creator, and in the character creator you can see the beads of sweat on the character. Now keep in mind, this is an isometric game, so you're going to be zoomed out of your character the whole time, but they still just were like, we're going to put the beads of sweat on the character models. And like, you look at the clothes, you can see all the buckles, and you can see each ring in the chainmail, and like you look at the rocks and you can see the facets in the rocks, and you walk through snow, it leaves footprints, and like the graphics are just really, really, really good looking, and the lighting is good. All that stuff's good. There's a lot of detail. So nice. I do think that the more grounded tone kind of lends to being able to use those more like realistic environments and stuff. And gameplay wise, it's very reminiscent of Diablo. I don't think there's anything super innovative there, which I think is what they're going for because people really like this formula. But I think the biggest thing about this game is it's basically more or less an MMO now. Like, you can play most of the game solo still, yeah, but there's always kind of like, if you think of a game like Destiny, you'll be in the town and you'll see constantly other players walking around you. Or like, let's say you're out in the world and you start a world event, like other players can just walk up and help you and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a persistent shared world thing. And that's kind of like the biggest change. And I'm kind of on the middle of that too, whereas like, I don't know if if that alone is gonna make me love the game more or less, or if it, like Diablo 3 and previous Diablos being kind of more, you could do more like solo dungeons, and the max party size you could have would be like 4 people, and you're never just out in the world seeing players walk around and stuff. I don't think any of that really makes more or less of a difference to me, but it is cool to be able to now easily just like log on, and if I want to play with my friend, I just jump in the world and everything's shared. So like, all of our progress is shared. Like, the quests are pretty seamlessly shared. Like, if they're on a story quest, it's just gonna pop it into my quest log, and like, we can just be on the same quest for a brief period of time or whatever like that. So I do like that aspect of it. But yeah, overall, I think that the itch that it scratches is just that like loot grind that's like propped up by very like tactile, satisfying combat. Like, there's really good animation work, like the way the demons get like dismembered when you're attacking them, and the way they like explode, and the loot pinata, like the little shower out of bosses. And they've got the sound effects down to like a science, to where it's like, it just hits that dopamine, you know what I mean? Like, it just hits it so well. And so far from what I've seen, I'm sure they're hiding a lot of the stuff on purpose though, is it seems like the structure of the game is not one that's set up for predatory microtransactions the way the mobile game was. And a lot of people were worried about that, because they did take some of the better aspects of the mobile game and put it in this. But it seems like just the structure and the generosity of loot, and the how you go about getting the progression items and stuff like that, doesn't seem like it's scaled towards, you know, selling you stuff. So I have a lot of high hopes that microtransactions will only be cosmetic. And they have said that, but they've lied in the past about stuff like that before. So ultimately we'll see, but so far it's shaping up to be exactly what I wanted out of it, which I think is nice. Great. And then yeah, that's really all I have to say on there. And then moving on from there, I actually did start playing Tunic, and I got far enough. I got a little bit after you get the shield, so I'm not like super duper far, but I think I'm far enough to kind of get what the game is like. And it's very much a it's very much a Dark Souls game, but in the style of a Zelda game.
Yeah, it's like Baby Souls as far as the combat to me is concerned.
And the world design. Like, the amount of shortcuts I've come across that lead me back to a bonfire at the start is like, I'm like, okay, this is Dark Souls.
I don't like that. Like, you'll come out of a piece of the background,
it's right there, and you're like, that was there the whole time.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm never gonna remember that was there. Yeah, because it's like it's not obvious at all.
It's not.
It's not even like a hint that you could walk back there.
I was almost mad when I popped out of one, and I was like, because it's like it's open to where if you know the shortcuts there, you can go there from the start. You're not like unlocking a door like you are in Dark Souls. So it's like, I could have taken the shortcut the whole time. And like you're saying, now that I know it's there, I'm going to put the game down for like a day or two, come back, and I'm still going to go through the level the long way. Because there's not like a sign. They should put like a sign there for you once you come through it the first time. I feel like that would be a cool enhancement.
And it's like the cruelest non-updating paper map.
Yeah, exactly. But overall, I think it does evoke Souls-like the most out of any like indie game I've ever played that's going for that style. So I kind of gotta applaud them for that, because they get the tone, or not the tone, but like the style. I guess they kind of nail that. And the combat's fun. I like that you don't necessarily have to worry about stamina for all of your attacks. Like, I think that makes it a little bit more chill. And because sometimes I'll sit down and I'll look at a Dark Souls game and I'm like, I don't feel like sweating that hard right now. But like, I can look at the same way. I can look at Tunic and be like, okay, this is way less sweaty just because of this stamina thing. You know what I mean? So like, I can chill a little bit more when
I feel every time I put my hands on a Dark Souls game or
it's so sweaty.
I'll never feel like sweating that hard.
Exactly. And the other thing with Tunic too is it does the whole ambiguous storytelling thing. But I find the instruction manual understandable enough. Like, obviously there's stuff with just straight up question marks next to it, and it's like, I'm just not supposed to know what this is yet, so I'm not even gonna stress about it. But this is clearly a dodge roll, so that's what I should be worried about now. You know what I mean? I feel like they're doing it in a way where the stuff that's obvious is the stuff you're supposed to think about now. The stuff that's not obvious, you're supposed to wait until you find more pages later or whatever. So I think all that stuff's cool. I think it's got a cool like mystery to the world where I kind of want to know what's behind all these weird doors and what's up with all these like skeletal ghost monsters that are selling me items and stuff. So I think that stuff's pretty interesting, but there are a lot of games out right now, so I don't know how far I'm going to get into it. But I think it's going to be one of those that I can probably pretty easily like pick up and play and not forget too much how to play. But
I don't know how you would do that.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Because I think if I went back now, I would be very lost.
One thing about this game, though, that's different from Dark Souls, I think, is it doesn't feel nearly as punishing when I die. Like, I can die in a far off place and be like, I don't know how to get back there, but I don't even really care if I lose those 100 coins or whatever. Because, like, I can kill 5 monsters and get that amount that I just lost back, like, pretty quickly. So I think that's one cool thing about it, where I can go into it and not necessarily need to remember exactly what I was doing, because I can just walk in a direction and just... The stakes aren't crazy high, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not losing a crazy amount of progress every time I die, which is...
I guess I just feel like you spend a lot of time bumping around in that game.
You do.
If you don't pay attention to...
Where you've been...
Context clues, I guess.
Yeah, because right now I think this is straight out of Dark Souls. They're like, ring the East Bell Tower and the West Bell Tower. Yeah. And I did the one on the East, and now I'm trying to... I see the one on the West, but I don't know how to get to it yet, but I can see it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track. I just got to fumble around this left side of the map until I can...
I think that's about... After that is about where I am.
Yeah. And then the last thing I kind of want to note, which is kind of interesting, is I feel like this game, you could straight up just miss the shield. The sword, I don't think you can miss, but that shield, that key was not in a area that is intuitive to you know what I mean? Like the door that leads to the shield and where the key is to that door, I feel like I just ran into the key by accident. And then I just happen to know that, oh, there's a door there.
But that's why I feel like I'm like, I don't know, like, even though it's got a juvenile or a young aesthetic, I don't know how many kids would play this game without getting frustrated at some point.
But at
like
the same...
Younger kids.
At the same time, though, I mean, I think the biggest thing would be how different games are now. But, like, the games we played when we were kids, like... I don't remember if I talked to you about this on the last podcast, but in my endeavor playing a bunch of retro games again, none of them have tutorials.
Yeah, we said this. I said the same thing to you, and I was like, these games don't tutorialize you, because it's like you used to have the book.
The book, yeah.
To just tell you the controls and tell you how to start.
Exactly.
And yeah, so the game's like, we don't have that built in.
But even back in the day, though, like, I don't know how you were, but when I got a new game, I wouldn't open the book first and then play the game. I would play the game, get stuck. I had to orient myself. Really?
Yeah, I would turn them pages till it got to the non-important, like to the credits, so to speak, and then I'd be like, all right, I think I'm ready.
I'm prepped. Yeah,
I know what to expect.
Gotta prep. See, I would play, fiddle with the buttons until I figured stuff out, get stuck, and then I'm like, all right, now I'll check the manual.
That was like, I don't have the book for this game situation.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I do think Tunic is a good game. And I think I was comparing it a lot to Death's Door, and I think Death's Door.
I was gonna ask you, what would you choose between Death's Door and Tunic?
I think still Death's Door, just because the art style and the casualness of it mesh more, and I think there's more direction. Like I got lost. I rarely ever got lost in Death's Door, right? Mm-hmm. Like if I ever got lost, it was just like in the overworld, maybe trying to find the next world to go to. But once I was like in a world, I didn't really get lost. Mm-hmm. And I think with the bow, I don't know if, I'm sure you probably get a bow at some point in Tunic too, but the bow you start with and the stuff aside from your sword in Death's Door feel really fun to me. I like just how you can dive in, slash, roll back, bow, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that type of combat was really fun, and not having to worry about the stamina, I think kind of added to it in that type of game. So like just a smidge Death's Door, but I'll always say I can do it less puzzles than more, which Death's Door had more puzzles, so you could strip out all the puzzles.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even feel like Tunic was that puzzly.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was more like just figuring out where to go, and then getting it to do what you need it to do.
Exactly, and that's why I think it's way more Souls, and it just looks like Zelda. You know what I mean? It just looks like old school Zelda, but it doesn't really play that much like one. Right. But yeah, that's Tunic, and then the last thing I want to talk about real quick is I watched the movie Everything Everywhere at Once. Is that
All at Once?
All at Once, yeah. I always mess up the title. And what do I want to say about this movie? It was a good movie. It was a fun movie. Do I personally think it
was long?
It was kind of long. It was like 2 hours. Which compared to stuff like Black Panther and whatnot, like I pretty much only watch 3-hour movies because I only watch like Marvel movies. But do I think it should be the most awarded movie ever? No.
It's doing a lot.
Reasons I think it might be. Call me crazy. It's 2023. It's a full Asian cast, which we haven't had before. Everything's progressive now. We know how we are, woke times.
Except for Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, exactly. The daughter was gay. More woke time. So I think there was probably a good amount of like pander going on, not from the movie. Like I think the movie's genuine in what it's trying to do.
The older generation not listening to the younger generation.
Yeah. So I think it's like from the award show's perspective, it's like they're looking at it like, oh, this is super progressive in the time where we're most sensitive. So I think that's why a big reason why it's getting a lot of awards. But again, not to take away from the quality. I don't think it was a bad movie. I just think for me, certain parts were corny. Which maybe have been intentional, I don't know. But in terms of just like pure, and I'm not a movie person either, so take everything I say with like as if it doesn't matter really. But in terms of like acting and stuff like that, like I wasn't blown away. Like I wasn't like crying at any point in the movie. You know, I wasn't like super emotionally moved. My main takeaway was like, okay, this is fun. This is really good choreography, I thought. A lot of the stuff that's happening makes no sense. Like it makes sense like I understood what was happening, but they didn't do a lot of effort to tie things logically together. They're just like, this is happening just because. They even say at one point, oh, it doesn't make sense, but that's good. Think about it less. Like they say that in the movie. That's a line in the movie. So I'm like, okay, bit of a cop out there, but.
Well, it does have a lot to do with like the creation of multiverses, which is, if you think about it, it's like every decision triggers a split.
Yeah.
You know, like the path you didn't take. This movie is a lot of the path you didn't take.
Absolutely. Which,
like, so
this movie's iteration of multiverses and time travel and stuff is very, very similar to Steins Gate. And so in my head, I'm comparing it to Steins Gate a lot. And the one thing with this movie is Steins Gate is all about logically explaining how this phenomenon works and how, you know, it's connecting the dots a lot. Whereas this show is just like, this is fun. Don't think about it too hard. There's multiverses, but we're not going to explain the science behind it. Go have fun, which is fine.
Speaking of which, my friend just recently finished Steins Gate, and she was like, please give me something that's not going to destroy my brain.
Yeah.
I forget what I recommended to her afterwards, but I was just like, yeah, I told her, I said, I've literally tried to watch that like 5 times, and I can't get through it.
Gotta be locked in. But if you want a show that's like super sciencey and like really gets into the nitty gritty of like time traveling alternate universes, that's
a terrible way to sell that show, because the first half is a lot of like bullshit rambling from a crazy guy who's putting a banana in a microwave and you don't understand why.
But then when it comes full circle,
and then his phone is ringing for like 4 straight episodes, and you're like, why is your phone never not ringing?
Yeah. But then you realize he was never crazy. He was never crazy. He was right all along.
I'm just saying, you upsell that shit so hard.
Me?
And it's one
of the highest rated anime ever.
Yeah, but I'm saying
list.
It's a journey to get there, bro. It's a journey to get there.
But that's not me.
I'm talking about you got it. Yes, it is.
No, that's everybody who rated it on the website.
You gotta sell the beginning right, is what I'm saying. You never sell the beginning correct.
I sell it, because I don't like breaking it down like that when I'm talking about a show. What is that?
It's Pokemon battle music.
Oh, yeah, I don't like breaking it down like that when I'm talking about shit. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, when I talk about One Piece is about the journey. Like, that's the sell. Like, if you're not there for the journey.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying this particular show. You upsell like a mofo.
I'm not upselling it.
You are getting that lemon off the lot.
The ratings are out there. What am I upselling? It's already sold. It was sold to me.
We will one day have an episode about critically acclaimed things.
No, but so how am I upselling it though? If it's critically acclaimed, I'm not selling it. I'm just telling you my experience.
I wish I could like Housewives rewind 90 seconds where you were like, if you want to get into the nitty gritty of the science of the multiverse. Bro, it doesn't start like that, bro. It takes like 5 episodes.
I didn't say how it starts though.
Anything.
Yeah, but how many anime start slow?
It's a 12. How many episodes is it?
It's like
a 12
40
episode series. Is it?
Yeah. Or it's at least 20, 25.
24.
Yeah, 24.
25. Okay.
I might be thinking of with Zero included. It's like 40 something. Okay. But yeah, the base I think might just be 20 something.
Look, I'm not saying I'm never gonna finish it. I just have to.
I wasn't even pressing you to finish it. I wasn't even.
No. This isn't you.
Oh, yeah, you said I was selling it. I'm not even.
This was before. Like, I've started it before you recommended it.
Yeah.
This is like an ongoing journey for me.
Yeah.
Of like, when I do get there.
Yeah.
I may agree with you.
But no,
you as someone who is fighting to get there.
You wear yourself out on shows though. Like, you'll start a show so many times to try to like it.
What does that mean? No. I don't start a show to try to like it. That's a different effort.
Okay.
I start shows over because when I'm just not in the right frame of mind, if I come in too cynical or expectations too high, it can ruin a show.
But you don't think doing that over and over?
When I'm restarting it, I'm clean slating. No, it doesn't.
Are you really clean slating?
Yes, I'm not coming in. When I started over, I'm not coming into it with those same opinions of like, here I go again.
See, I don't believe you. I think there's some residual left over in there.
No, it's not. Because I'm like, if I genuinely sit down to start it again, it means I'm putting in the effort to enjoy this again. And I'm like, I come at it. I come at, and you'll see with the movies that I'm telling you I watched this week.
Yeah.
I come at everything with like, I'm going to give you the purest chance to immerse me. And if you fail to do that, that's on you. Because I've given you a clean slate audience. I'm coming in with zero judgment.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that to say that, like, when I restart stuff, it's to give it a true chance. It's to not say, like, I tried to watch it after I had a bad day, and then I just poo-poo on it for the rest of forever.
No, of course.
The one shot
I'm not saying that. Yeah, I'm not saying that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I don't want it to be.
Yeah.
So that's why I tend to start things over and over, because I'm just like, let me give this a genuine chance, because maybe I'm just in the wrong frame of mind when I'm starting this.
Yeah. And I definitely get that. The only thing I'm saying is I think subconsciously it's probably... Like, I guess I'm saying I just can't imagine how a person can fully wipe away all biases when they restart something. If there was any preconception that they built or created before, like, that's going to be in the back of your head somewhere, even if it's all the way in the back.
The only reason I can deny you on that is because there's no benefit to me doing that.
Yeah.
Why am I sitting down to watch it then if I'm going to have preconceived notions, if I'm going to bring those notions in every single time I come to watch it?
I would just say because, like, it's not
I don't
on purpose.
Even when I sit down to watch, like, if I go to watch Steins Gate next time, I'm not even gonna think about these conversations we've had. I'm just gonna try and watch it and say, like, I might think about there's that damn phone vibrating again. Like, that might drive me crazy. That's exactly
what I'm talking about.
Because that happens over and over, but
triggers biases, right?
Well, it doesn't. No, it doesn't trigger biases. I'm gonna start to laugh at it, right? Because, like, now I laugh at it because I'm like, no.
Right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No. It doesn't make me take it less serious.
Okay.
No. Because I can laugh at your absurdity one moment and be completely invested the next moment. That has nothing to do with it.
That's fair. So
it's just if you drag me along in the wrong kind of way, that's where you're going to lose me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always stuff, and this isn't everything. This is something like Tiz said, this is like been hyped.
Yeah.
So I tend to do it with stuff like that, where it's like people have given this a lot of love and praise, but for some reason it's hitting me in the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me try this.
Yeah, which is fair.
Thing, so.
And my only thing is, when you do eventually watch it, you don't have to like it. You could hate it. But my thing is, like, what would make me satisfied, or not even satisfied, or what's the word I'm looking for? I'm just kind of looking for you. I would just like you to be able to see or understand why other people might like it.
Yeah, and that's all I'm ever trying to do. Yeah. That's why I restart things. That's all I'm ever trying to do is, like,
even if you don't like it,
the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. Like, certain shows,
it was the same with Madoka, right?
Yeah.
Like, I came into Madoka so late, and I did come in. Now that I came into with, like,
like, this can't be. I was like,
this is just a bunch of weirdos, like, liking weird little girl stuff, you know? But then it, like, changed my mind completely. So that's the only reason I say that.
But yeah, that's all. I just be wanting
side tangent.
Yeah.
Battle complete.
Yeah. But that was pretty much my week.
Nice. Oh, the other thing I was just gonna say is, like, when I was watching it before, I probably was also watching a lot of time travel stuff. Mm-hmm. So if I now, if I'm not watching anything like that and then I go watch it, it might impress me a little bit more. So.
And I've only watched it once too. I'm gonna watch it again. Like, I like to give time before I watch something again. Yeah, and then I might have, different perspective, but we'll come back to that. I'll talk about that when it happens.
So I watched a lot of stuff this week, and then I mostly played Resident Evil and Paper Mario. I played a little bit of the original Resident Evil 4. Just in between, because I wasn't sitting in front of the TV and I can play that on my handheld. But
oh yeah, that's crazy.
Getting to things
that's
quickly.
Actually crazy.
I watched Cocaine Bear, which
nuts.
is part of the reason I'm exhausted.
I heard it was good, but, like, it just looks nuts.
People, like, there are gonna be people who condemn it for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
But I still found it, like, hilariously funny to watch. And I'm just gonna put this out there, because some people value this information, but yeah, when someone said, this is one of those movies, is like when someone says, like, all the stuff you see in the trailer is the best parts.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
That's true.
Now, that being said, I enjoyed the character acting in this movie. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed the characters a little too much. there's like a local detective, or I'm sorry, a detective that gets called in because it's a drug case, because it's somebody dropping cocaine from a plane.
Yeah.
It's the first scene of the movie.
Drug smuggling. Good old drug
So
smuggling.
they call in this detective, and when he's telling one of his partners that he has to leave, he's asking them, like, he's sitting here reading a pamphlet that's got like Labrador retrievers all over it. And he's on the phone, and he's saying like, I don't think there's something right with my dog. He's like, it's a little bit fancy. And then you like see him looking at it, but you can't see the dog. And then he picks the box up, and it's the most like frou like brushed hair down to its feet with a little bow in its hair, white dog.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, that's not a lab. Like, that's not even a fancy lab.
Yeah.
But like he's like, I thought this was supposed to be man's best friend. Like, he's like this black dude. He's so simple. And then there's like this one guy who his dad is Ray Liotta. He's actually the one looking for the drugs. Okay. But then his wife dies, so he's like just crying the entire movie, and he's just sad, and he's like this pitiful character getting dragged around looking for these bags of cocaine. And he's like you first meet him in a bar, and the guy's like, he's like eating pasta, and he's like what's up with that penne? It's like, is it good? He's like, what
you said that, like, penne?
Yeah, like penne pasta. He's like, you get chicken in that? Or he's like, it's just plain, bro. It's just plain.
All up in his
he's
pasta.
Like crying.
Yeah.
And
plain
then the
pasta is
ranger,
also crazy.
Yeah,
butter nuts.
Butter noodles. Everybody's had butter noodles.
It's too plain.
I feel like you used to eat butter noodles.
Not by themselves.
I feel like you did.
Unless somebody forced me to.
But yeah, characters were fun. Scenes were a little wild. The bear really loves ripping limbs off. I'm gonna just put that out there.
So people die.
This movie was a lot gorier than I expected it to be.
I wouldn't have expected
it's
that.
Like full on, like you'll just see a bear like bite into someone's forehead.
Oh my
and
God.
They'll like show it.
Jesus Christ.
You're like, ah!
I guess that's that R rating, besides the cocaine.
So if you're looking for like, I guess kind of like simpleton fun, I would recommend Cocaine Bear, but don't take it too seriously. It's a little crazy. This bear is like really addicted to cocaine. It's really hilarious. There's also children who do drugs in the movie too, because they find the cocaine. So that's pretty funny.
Oh my God. I hope at least like teenage.
So many people just get packs of cocaine exploded in their face, and you're just like, that's so bad.
Are they just like insta high after? Like,
bro, they're just like, their whole face is just like white powder, and they're like,
yeah.
So
oh my God. Bricks.
And then the next movie. So this movie the next movie I watched was on a list of, I think, prominent Shudder, which is a horror movie streaming service. Prominent Shudder movies, I think, or watchable, interesting. So forget when this movie was made, but it's a Thai movie, and it's called The Pool. It's a very simple premise. Okay,
Is this a death game?
No.
Oh.
a Taiwanese man, or Thai man was helping a film.
I'm a Thai
shooting.
man too, by the way.
Not talking to you. Different spelling entirely. But yeah, so he's helping with like this. They're filming this like random clips in like a pool. Yeah. Like, I don't even know if it's an Olympic sized pool, but it's a diving pool. So it's fairly deep.
Yeah.
But it's abandoned, but they're using it to shoot or whatever. So it's full
There's
of
no
water.
Oh, there is.
No,
water.
It is full of water because they're shooting under the water. They have snorkels and stuff like that. Okay. And so one of the guys, like, he's there because he's working for them, but he's also like wants his dog to be like in the film. So he's training his dog to do scenes. And so he's also taking advantage of the free pool. So when everybody packs up the crew and leaves because they're done, he's like, I'm just going to hang out here and like chill in the pool or whatever. And so I guess he's like chilling and falls asleep and the drain starts to empty. And so the level goes down just enough that he can't reach the edge and there's no ladders.
Is that deep?
It's that deep. It's
like,
I would
you can't
say
even jump and grab
it's probably 20 feet deep. And then it's like, so, it's a pool, right? But then the sides are like slanted.
Yeah.
So you can't really
get
like
traction to
climb
grip.
up to and even if you could, it's still like another person's
too steep
plus worth of height above you.
Just conveniently deep enough for someone to get stranded in.
Yes. So all he has with him in the pool, for some reason they were shooting like an underwater scene with a couch.
Okay.
So there's like a fancy couch. And I think like a roll of duct tape.
Turn that joint sideways. Climb up the couch. Jump off the top of the couch.
And then his friend left his dog, Lucky, chained to the side of the pool. Like, not to the side of the pool, but the fence next to the pool so he couldn't jump in the water by accident.
Okay.
So that's his setup. And then, while they're chilling and the pool empties, an alligator shows up. It's an alligator, but they call it a crocodile. But it's an alligator.
Okay.
So an alligator shows up, and Lucky's barking, and Homeboy's so low in the pool, he doesn't see the crocodile, but Lucky's barking at it, and then the crocodile hits like there's some pipes, like some loose pipes on the side. He hits that thing of pipes and falls into the pool. So now he's trapped in the pool with the crocodile.
Jesus
/
Christ.
alligator.
This is horrible. Step on his nose. That's your best bet. Sit on his nose until help comes.
Okay, so this movie, by the way, is on Tubi, so it's completely free.
It's free.
If you want to watch it, but I really don't want to say anything else after this. The places this movie goes,
it's nuts.
Is insane. Insane.
I believe it.
Like, I was like, I'm thinking this is gonna be one of those movies that I'm just fully like laughing at. I was like, there were points where I'm like. And then I'm like, did that just happen? I'm like screaming. I'm like, did that just happen?
Fully invested and immersed. That's actually hilarious.
I actually think you need to watch it.
Really?
Now, I do highly recommend you imbibe something while watching this movie.
Yeah.
Some substance, whether it be alcohol, whatever. I think you should imbibe while watching this movie. Your chill substance of choice, a beer, whatever, what have you.
That's funny.
But I think I actually enjoyed this maybe more than Cocaine Bear. It was shocking. It really keeps you on edge until the end.
I mean, that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing.
It's like you'll see his attempt to escape or something. Like you'll be watching like, I guess, the course of the day, and then it's like he'll do something, fail, and then it'll be like black screen, and then it's like day 4. And you're like, God damn!
Oh my God. Jeez. And I'm assuming he don't got easy access to food or nothing like that. So his time's ticking down, I'm assuming.
Well, let me give you one more thing
that
made this movie highly enjoyable.
Yeah.
One of the most prominent sponsors of this movie is Pizza Hut. So in the you know how they have the opening title screens and they'll have like the company or whatever. Yeah. It'll be like what's that one? It's like Tri-Columbian Pegasus like runs it. So they have a screen like that where it's like some company and then Pizza Hut
right
with
next
like
to it.
Equal space.
This is a collaboration.
And so like a Pizza Hut delivery guy shows up. They're eating Pizza Hut during the like shooting.
Yeah.
I think at one point a dirty old box of pizza gets knocked into the pool for substance.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hilarious.
A lot of just splashing the brand throughout the whole movie. Never
seen Pizza Hut so heavily pushed in a what I would call like a suspense thriller.
Yeah. It's like, what is it? Like the Mountain Dew was in Death Stranding. Was it Mountain Dew? That was just one of them random, or is it energy drink? Monster. It was Monster.
Yes, or something like that. Yeah, something close.
They just had the energy drink everywhere.
But yeah, so if you're looking for a wild ride of survival in a very urban setting, check out The Pool on Tubi. Now there are commercials, but that's just built-in breaks. Just take a break. You're gonna need a break from the suspense.
I can deal with commercials still if it's free. Deep breaths. You gotta recenter yourself.
Settle yourself, from the scene to try again.
That's funny.
And the last thing I'll add that I am attempting to watch and struggling is The Last of Us. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's just not doing anything for me.
Not even what the game did.
I don't.
At minimum.
I don't like to think that I'm this much of a purist. But yeah, I'm
You are
like,
kind of a
when
purist.
people, yeah, but when people come in and like really think they can make something that's great better, I'm like, what do you think that you're changing?
I have to stop you because it's Neil making the changes himself. It's
Yeah,
Neil. He's the mind behind the show. So
I
to
know,
me,
bro,
that's
but
what
we
makes it an extension.
Listen, I said this like 2 weeks ago. J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter is fine the way it is. Please stop coming in and making your post ad hoc changes to the character's thoughts and feelings.
How does she make the changes,
you originally wrote. She's coming out with like stuff about like Dumbledore's gayness and stuff
in
that
writing,
wasn't
or
ever
like,
a part.
Like what's
on her Twitter?
That's what I'm saying. What's the I guess I'm asking, is this like an official presentation or is she just saying it? You know what I'm saying? Like, because to me, this with Neil, he's officially saying this is a part of my IP.
She's adding, well, it's a little different because there aren't active Harry Potter IPs to change things.
Right, exactly, right.
But yeah, she's, as the author, saying this was my intent while writing this.
To me, you got to put it on wax or it don't matter. You got to put it on wax. Like, you got to cement it in history.
Like, it's in text. You can find it's there. You can find it. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's not in a tweet, I guarantee you it lives on Reddit in a forum somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or it probably lives in her own thoughts on her page.
Yeah. No,
So I say that to say that, like,
I get what you mean.
All I'm saying is if you choose to tell the story that already exists and you're selling me someone who already loves the story, hey, here's the story you like. I'm going to then just call foul and say, this is not the story I like. This is this is a based on. And that's why I'm like, I've got to just be more aware of the based on versus.
It kind of is the same story, though.
An actual adaptation. It kind of is, but like
they didn't change anything. They added context to the game.
And that's what I'm saying. It just feels like unnecessary tweaks that take me out. They're pulling me out.
I need an example. I need an example.
My biggest example, one of them I can't confirm because I have to go back and confirm, and that has to do with Ellie's reaction to shooting someone for the first time.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I do not remember her being that upset about shooting someone. And I remember, I've said this, I've had 2 conversations about this week because I said, what is stuck in my brain, and I really hope I didn't make this up. I don't feel like I made this up, but I'm like, I feel like I specifically remember Ellie being a little bit more cold-blooded than expected, like not being as affected by all the death, and Joel being freaked out by that, and that signaling to him like, oh my God, this is a little girl, and look at how she's acting in this world, right? So, and then that triggers him because remembering his daughter and what he went through, that triggers him to soften up towards Ellie a little bit. Because he's like, this, it's not fair that she has to exist like this. Because I think he kind of remembers, like, my daughter wouldn't have grown, like, my daughter would have had me to protect her. Ellie doesn't have anybody, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I thought I remember her shooting somebody being more shocking to him than her. So that was a change that I felt like was unnecessary because the reaction that Ellie had in the show is the reaction that would happen. So that's not really surprising or unexpected or engaging even to me. Yes, she's a little kid who shot someone and then the person she shot is like crying. No! And even me, now that's me feelings of game. Take that, set it aside. Just me as a viewer watching this, I'm like, that's fucking stupid. That dude was trying to kill you. You kill him. Period. There's no, I'm sorry, ow, I can't move my legs. No, it's called I ace you now because you made your choice.
Not as a kid, though. A kid doesn't think like that. Stop.
I
understand Joel thinking like that, but a little kid.
A little kid who grew up with clickers and people trying to kill and kidnap her constantly.
But she never killed anybody, though. That's different.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's traumatic.
That's not, and that's why I'm like, that's not the Ellie that I know. This is like a different Americanized, woke, weird TV show Ellie. You know what I mean? And so it just disconnects me from, because then I'm just going, like, me as the viewer I am is just going, okay, I love the game over here, and this is a separate piece of garbage that they just wanted to make money off of, and I don't want to watch it.
Oh my!
I just want to. I'll just go back to the game.
Hot take, guys. You heard it.
I'm just saying, like, that's honest. Like, when you change things that, in my opinion, don't really need to be changed, don't like making the little boy deaf.
I do agree with that. I don't think
what
that
was the point
anything.
of that?
I don't think that added anything, but I also don't think it took away either. I don't think it added or took away.
I don't think.
What did it take away? Like,
I think it took away from, like, to me, it's like, let's just make him handicapped to make sneaking around harder, because now we have to sign language to this kid and he can't hear anything. I don't like in the game, a little kid being a little kid in that world is hard enough. It's hard enough. He's already not listening. He doesn't understand what's going on. The severity of the situation is not going to hit him. He doesn't need to also be deaf.
No, I agree.
It's hard enough.
I'm just wondering, though, why? Because for me, watching that scene, I'm like, all right, he didn't need to be deaf. But if I just remove myself from him being deaf, it's the same exact story. It plays out the same exact. It's not really a change. It's just it's just a semantical change. Like, if anything.
But to me, it's like you're giving him a level of sadness that isn't there and doesn't need to be there. The situation is sad enough as it is.
Yeah,
you don't need him to then have a handicap.
No, I agree.
To make it hard, make the older brother look more like destitute.
Yeah, I agree.
Make him look more useless.
But like, see, to me, it didn't achieve any of those. No,
me.
I agree. To me, it didn't achieve any of those things. To me, it just came off as, okay, in the game, he could talk. In the show, I just read it instead. But it's the same outcome. It's the same.
I don't know. I guess for me, and then too, it's raising a lot of questions for me that I don't want to be asking. Like, how the hell did they even make it this far?
See,
like, it's a lot of questions I don't want to ask while I'm watching it either.
Yeah. No, I get that. I just think I personally wasn't asking any additional questions just because I'm like, well, the outcomes, I
can't. Yeah, we know that, but that's why I'm like, if I know the outcome, I'm going to be like, well, how is this change? This change would definitely affect the outcome.
Yeah.
If it was actually in the game story. Like,
yeah, maybe they would have died earlier or something. I don't know. But
yeah.
No, I do agree with that change, though. Not
I think giving background to dead characters is similar to the Black Widow problem. It's the same reason we haven't watched the Black Widow movie, because who wants background on an already dead character?
That's not why I didn't watch the Black Widow movie.
I'll
watch infinite background movies if the character's actually interesting. Black Widow is one of the absolute least interesting characters in all of Marvel, period. That's the reason I didn't watch the movie.
I don't feel that particularly, but I was just like, you've wiped
what's
this
cool? Tell me what's cool
universe.
about Black Widow. Off the top of your head, what do you personally think is cool about Black Widow?
Well, to me, she's in that realm of characters that don't actually have any type of superpower, but they've trained their humanism to a point of like extreme. So it's like
she's not even on Batman's level.
Well, no, but I'm saying she's sad because she can't have children, right? They took that from her.
Yeah.
But then she's always conflicted with like being a human and being like a super spy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's kind of, I would like to know more about her inner conflict, but that's it. That's all for me.
Yeah.
It's just you don't really ever get to hear her inner.
Yeah.
Until she would like have the interaction with like Hawkeye and stuff, and Hulk, you wouldn't hear her inner. By
the way, I think the same about Hawkeye too. Also one of the blandest, most boring characters. Like, they're just boring in a world full of gods and cosmic beings. I don't care about this normal archer. Like,
look, I'm a fan of Green Arrow. I'm like, you're not even rich. Like, Green Arrow at least has money.
You're just a dude.
He's cool and like quippy and like.
Yeah, so I'm like, to me, that's why I think those movies failed and those spinoffs and stuff didn't do that well, because it's like.
But yeah, but I'm just saying that to say that like that's the interest lowers.
No, I get you.
The severe. I'm glad I got to see a chunky clicker. I was happy about that.
Wait, so can I? Yeah, the bloaters. The bloaters.
Yeah.
I love the bloaters. But no, I want to ask you though. So do you think? Because obviously prequels are a thing that's huge in pop culture, right? And we're never gonna not get prequels for stuff, right?
But see, House of the Dragon is amazing.
Wait, no, hold on.
I love it.
I'm not asking, not just about prequels in general, but. Do you think that prequels should not exist if the main character or the main focus of that prequel is dead in the main, or is no longer in the main timeline?
No, because it might, being a fan of anime, that might actually shape what I'm currently witnessing. Mm-hmm. So no, I don't feel like that necessarily.
Okay.
But I mean, like, I'm speaking specifically about a highly praised third episode of Last of Us that is purely a full flashback episode about a character that's dead.
Well, I think that episode was praised for the same reason I just talked about the everything.
It has no bearing on the story.
It's kind of pander. It's because it's time and place. I think that's why that episode was praised.
And that is my problem.
Yeah.
And when I say unnecessary additions, they're usually pandering additions.
That's true. That is true.
Sorry. True.
I would like to hear if and when you get to episode, I don't know if it's the season finale or the episode right before the season. I think it's the season finale. The start of the season finale is another instance of giving background, but it does not feel pandery to me at all. I would like to know how you feel about that when you get to it.
And I'm nitpicking. Obviously, I haven't mentioned performances or anything because to me, like, I know those are good actors. This kind of baseline for me. Yeah. Bella Ramsey's a bit of a stretch for me, but she's doing it. You know, she's doing her best. I can't hate on her. She's pulling off the role. Like, she's doing the come on, Joel. Yeah, she's doing all that great. So that's fine.
For me, it's just her face that throws me off because she just doesn't look like Ellie. That's the main thing that throws me off.
I'm like but she is selling the like Ellie in the dad jokes, like the telling the terrible jokes while they're like about to die every day. I think she's doing
like
that
getting
well.
Joel to laugh when he doesn't want to laugh. Like she does that well.
I enjoyed that. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna be more interested in the next season, what's coming next, more so than right now because I didn't play the second game. So I'm purposely not doing it now.
Do you know anything that happens in the second game?
I know I have a general awareness of the story, but I don't know details.
If you're going in blind, my God, that's an intense go.
But I mean, like, I'm doing it on purpose because maybe I'll enjoy it this time.
You should, you should. I think you should.
So I'll wait and play the second part of Last of Us after I watch whatever they finish the show.
Because I just want to say, like, obviously no spoilers at all, but Last of Us 2 made me make this face way more than Last of Us 1. Like, I was doing that all of Last of Us 2, but that's all I'll say.
I just know Ellie's, like,
makes you wince.
Cutthroat. But that's what I'm saying. She grew up in a fucked up time.
She is Sasuke.
That's not her fault.
She is full on rage Sasuke.
I want to see her playing the angst guitar.
Yeah. No, she not even Sasuke. She is Thorfinn in Last of Us 2. She is
even
Thorfinn.
Better.
Yeah, she
even
is Thorfinn.
Better.
She is young Thorfinn.
I can't wait.
It's crazy. It's intense.
I can't wait.
But yeah.
So that is all that I watched, and the very last thing is I started the RE4 remake.
Let's hear it.
This for last, because okay. So I am still in parts that I remember. So, but first thoughts is I like the dialogue changes that they're making. I feel like they're updating them. They're not changing the dialogues to so much that it's changing the meaning. They're just making slight changes that make the jokes and quips feel a little less outdated. So I'm enjoying that a bit. I'm enjoying parts of the original RE4 that would take place maybe over walkie-talkie are now like almost full drawn out cutscenes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which are pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
The aura of the environment is intimidating.
Yeah.
It does have that muted flatness of the original game, but it's like also
the browns
somehow
and the grays and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's got more of the color palette of the village minus all the snow.
Okay.
So I'm enjoying that.
The village as in RE8, just to clarify.
Yes, the RE8, the village. And other than that, I'm like, I enjoy the enemy model. They're much smoother now.
Yeah.
The QuickTime events, which right now the QuickTime events for me are like the melees and stuff that come up when you stagger an enemy.
Yeah.
That they handle that way better than in the original.
Okay.
And yeah, so far everything just feels like super familiar but updated. And I will say I have been abusing the auto sort in the
really?
attache case because I'm just like, all right, we gotta get going. We gotta go.
It's convenient now. Yeah, back to gameplay.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I see why they did this. Oh, so one thing, the drops are about the same except I'm picking up resources which they
like
look
crafting
like
materials.
Scraps.
Yeah.
It looks like a pile of scraps, so I'm assuming I'm gonna be crafting more than usual.
Because what I don't fully remember 4 that much. Was it just upgrades in 4, or was it?
Yes, it was just straight up like
and you
drop
find your
money
weapons.
and ammo. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. And the thing you said earlier about being able to miss the shield.
The shield. Oh, in Tunic, yeah.
I feel like I definitely could have missed the shotgun.
Oh, really?
In this game. It was just in a building.
I was gonna say, is it because the I don't remember how you find it in the original game, but is it in this game? Is it because the areas are more open and like?
Well, at least in that when you first hit the village, that area is huge.
Wait, don't you find the shotgun in the original in that house where you're like trying to rush and barricade the doors? And when you first find the head burster.
But that's not the cabin sequence, right? That's not the sequence where you're barricading yourself in and like just it's like 20 minutes of like tower defense.
That's what I'm thinking of. Is that where you get the shotgun? No. Okay.
That's not where I found it.
Okay.
I found it before. I found the shotgun like right after the bingo line.
Okay.
And so I was just like, I don't remember it, but again, I haven't played 4 in a very long time. And then, but also playing the old game. Like, I played it the night before. I didn't see the shotgun in there, but maybe I didn't search hard enough if it is there. Yeah. So, I thought that was interesting. And, yeah, it is kind of like these bubble. It's like a tube to a bubble zone to a tube to a bubble type of thing. The map feels very helpful. It will literally tell you where, if you've passed an item, I think, it will tell you that it's there so you can check back later. And, yeah, so far I'm just enjoying the experience. I do like playing it a lot. I probably would be a lot further if I wasn't trying to record at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely see playing through this again. They handle there are some things they have like these side missions. So like I came across this blue note, and the blue note talked about, I don't know if you remember shooting like the little blue medallions.
Yeah,
in certain areas. So yeah, the blue note says like there's 5 medallions that in this area that the villagers keep hanging up, and it's like it's really annoying. Like, could you destroy them? Yeah. So yeah, I think I found all of them, and then at the end, at the chapter complete, I think that's when you get the reward from completing that side mission. So yeah, I think they're opening up some of the game mechanics between 3 and 4.
I read that this RE, like the remake specifically, is like the platinum of all platinums for RE games. Like they said it's like 8 playthroughs minimum to get this platinum. And so I'm like, okay, that sounds like to me that speaks a lot to like how they expanded the game and stuff like that, and what little secrets they might have added and hidden unlockables and stuff. Like, do they have a tofu skin this time? You know what I mean?
I feel like there's stuff I'm just missing, and I'm fine with that, because of like first playthroughs always just to get yourself oriented.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I love RE for that. I think they're one of, if not the best game at doing like hidden unlockables and like fun, like, oh, you can just play through the whole game as Wesker now, or oh, you can just be a tofu with a knife, like, or oh, you can be a dude with an assault rifle now and just play. Now the game plays completely differently than when you were scavenging for ammo.
Or you can be like me and just rush through so you can get to mercenaries.
Yeah, you can just speed run the joint, like. So I think RE has always done a really good job of stuff like that. I want more games to do stuff like that.
I think there's a decent amount of replayability, which is a reason I don't mind buying that game digital.
For sure. Definitely get your money's worth.
So yeah, you ready for some news?
Yeah, let's get into it.
I feel like I should be playing Pain's theme based on this first story.
Yeah, so the first story is sad. I'm just going to start off with a big rest in peace to Lance Reddick. Passed away at the age of 60. And for those that don't know, Lance was I would say at this point, definitely a very, very prominent actor and voice actor in very high profile movies, shows, and video games. Just to start off the list, probably my favorite game of all time at this point, Destiny and Destiny 2, favorite franchise of all time. He was probably the most iconic voice in that game, being Commanders of Allah. Like, I knew him as Commander Zavala, and then I found out who he actually was when I started seeing him in movies. But like every time I hear his voice in anything, I'm like, yo, that's Commander Zavala. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him and his performance in Destiny. I know he was in Horizon as well. And then movies, I know he was in all of the John Wicks. I think he was in White House Down. He was in White Men Can't Jump. He was in, I think, The Wire back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what else is of note. Godzilla versus King Kong. Mm-hmm. He was in Jonah Hex. He was in just a whole bunch of stuff.
I can't remember. I was like, what TV show is he in? But The Wire was one, but I'm like, there was a science fiction one.
Yeah.
But he was unfortunately in the live action Resident Evil that was recently on Netflix.
He was. I did forget about that one. But yeah, man, shout out and big rest in peace to Lance Reddick. Yeah. I definitely am curious to see what will happen to his role in Destiny, but it's going to be really, really hard to replace that voice.
I don't know. Not to say that to discount anything, but I'm like, voice mimics are more prevalent than you would think.
Deep fakes and stuff?
Yeah.
Or like people, you're talking about like people?
No, people who can mimic voices.
Yeah. Shoot, there's a couple though that I feel like I've never seen. I'm trying to think of like some really like Kratos. Like you're never gonna be able to replace.
Boy,
I'm forgetting his name now, but the dude that voice acts Kratos now, that won all those awards. Like that's a distinct voice. Like you hear that bass, you're like, oh man, that's him.
That's why I feel like the movie trailer voice went away when that guy died.
Yeah.
Like we stopped just having trailers with that guy's voice over top of him.
Yeah, because it's probably they couldn't find a replacement, a good like as iconic of a replacement. So, yeah, it's sad to see, and especially because to me, 60 is still pretty young. Like,
yeah, I think that was just unfortunate health issue.
Yeah, so yeah, it's unfortunate. Rest in peace again to him, and then on to the next piece of news. I won't spend too much time on this, but I like to point out when I see games like really innovating, because a lot of games are copy and paste nowadays. Like, just it is what it is. But Fortnite actually just released what they're calling Creative 2.0. So if you don't know, before they had what's basically like a creative mode. If you think of like Forge from Halo, it was like a simple like you could use.
Could we say creative mode from Minecraft, sir? For
Halo,
those of us who
Halo
don't
was
understand.
There first of all.
Yeah, but I don't.
Halo made this popular. So I'm going to say Halo, not Minecraft. Are you a Gen Z? What are you?
Minecraft. I don't understand that, sir.
Minecraft.
No, I'm just a girl.
Minecraft. You played Halo. You told me Halo was like your first-person shooter that you love.
Halo was when Halo came out though.
Put some
Halo
respect
was
on Halo. Yeah.
Halo was the nemesis of all girlfriends when it first came out.
Oh yeah.
Halo was the reason that many girlfriends stomped Xboxes.
The child birth rate went down for a couple years there.
Breakups increased
all-time high
60-fold.
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. But no, they had a joint basically, and the other reason I'm not saying Minecraft is because it was less open. It wasn't that open-ended, right?
Gotcha.
In iteration 1, it was like a very like user-friendly. You can use this game interface and a controller to do everything, right? Mm-hmm. Now, Creative 2.0 is like a game development engine built into the game now. So what they basically did was they took Unreal Engine and they super integrated it with Fortnite, and they released it on PCs for like people who, I'm talking code, I'm talking animation inside of this thing, I'm talking you can script voice acting, you can script movement and character actions, you can, everything you can do in like a real game dev engine. And
is that like Dreams?
Even more sophisticated though.
Oh, okay.
So Dreams again was more like Forge, where you use the game's tools like inside of the game itself. This is, if you ever seen like Unreal Engine or Unity Engine, this is that. Like you can only do it on PC with a mouse and keyboard. You actually have to know real animation if you're using the keyframing and stuff in there. Gotcha. You can import all types of external assets. You can create your own assets and import them. So basically what's happening, and I put a little trailer here, but people are remaking like Minecraft maps inside of Fortnite with the real Minecraft textures and blocks and stuff. People are making like realistic looking like mech boss battles and dragons, and like not in the Fortnite art style. It's like you'll see the Fortnite in character in his art style, and the whole background will be like RE4. You know what I'm saying? So the innovation here basically is that I think this is going to be the first game where every game like Dreams is kind of a failure. Like a lot of these games kind of don't go as far as I think this will, just because of the popularity. But the way they have it set up is not only can you make these things, but they're going to have it to where as a creator, you can get paid for making these things based on how popular, how many people play your stuff. Okay. And anytime you post a map publicly that you make, or a game type or a game mode or whatever, the entire world has access to it and can just freely play it, which is
cool.
With stuff like Halo back in the day, it was up to Bungie to curate it from the user created stuff. Like it wasn't ever just open like this. So
how would you compare that to like a Mario Maker?
Very similar. Okay. I just think a bigger scale, because obviously Mario Maker is all 2D, whereas this is all 3D. But I think Mario Maker was one of the first ones to do it, where you publish a map there, and as long as it passes the checks, everybody can play it. Like it's just there.
I'm just trying to like equate it to things that my dumb brain understands.
Yeah, just imagine any multiplayer game and you just give the community your dev tools, and then they can just make maps that everybody can use as if they were a dev. So not only are you talking infinite maps for the rest of eternity for free, as if you're the company, now we're talking about stuff like Machinima might come back and become popular again. You know, people might do like skits and voice acting and all this type of stuff. So I just see a lot of potential.
How long before ChatGPT ruins this?
ChatGPT there's gonna be some memes and some shenanigans probably with ChatGPT created stuff. But they already came out and said, like, warned people about using copyright stuff. They're talking like, we're gonna ban you. Yeah. Like, cause we ain't even trying to mess with no lawsuits or nothing like that. So probably similar to my real job. If you steal some code from ChatGPT and put it in this, you're probably liable. So I'd be careful there. But yeah, overall, I just wanted to say that I think you're probably going to see a lot of crazy clips and a lot of virality out of this game in the future. Like the game's not going anywhere anytime soon, thanks to this. It's probably going to be eternal. But yeah, that's kind of all the news that I really wanted to talk about today. Nice and brief. Well, you know what I'm saying?
We have a little article here that I saved from last week that we didn't get to talk about, or not last week, but week before last. They didn't get to talk about. And I just wanted to go over here with you, since I feel like remake is the word of the year.
Of the year, yeah.
So this is just a quick list of video game remakes that I guess will all be available by the end of 2023, we should say. So we can just go through them and give your feelings or opinions, or maybe if you've played it already, you know, your experience. So first on the list, Persona 3 and 4. Have you touched those at all, and are you excited?
Yeah, I'm probably never going to touch Persona 3 just because it's probably too archaic at this point. But Persona 4 GoldenEye is the reason why Persona 5 came out, and I have that game, and I do want to play through it. I just got to give myself some JRPG time, you know what I'm saying? Because Persona is a time commitment, like 100 hours minimum probably. But yeah, I do think I'm going to enjoy that one.
Nice. I have not touched them. I would love to play any of the Dancing All Nights. I still have not gotten to experience those, but considering I just lived in Persona 5 for like months, it's a little strange that I haven't touched these at all yet. But yeah, I would like to at least get some hands on them and try them out. I'm slowing down on the Half-Life sim stuff, because I think it's just a little too like the shit I already refuse to deal with in my own life. Yeah. So why the hell am I gonna deal with it in a video game?
I be fiending, yo.
I am not. Look, I think even if talking to one of my friends gave me some kind of boost in real life, I think I would still be like, not today.
You know what I'm mad about? Why, in all of these years of video games existing, why has some Japanese dev not come out with a life sim JRPG? Like, only the life sim stuff from Persona.
It probably already exists. We just don't know what it is.
Like, why hasn't a game like that become popular yet?
That's not Sims?
Nah, Sims is way too in the weeds of stuff I don't want to do. But Persona's like, oh, just go hang out with your friends, you know, boost your social stat. You don't got to worry about eating. And I don't want to worry about eating.
Sims is like, have a party.
Yeah. your fun is low, so your sim is depressed. Like I don't want to. You got to shower. Like I don't want to.
That's what life sim is. That's life sim.
Sorry, wrong word. Social sim. That's what I want.
Okay.
Social sim. Because that's what Persona is. That's like the teacher aspect of Fire Emblem Three Houses that I wish was a separate game.
And I feel like what you're describing are what light novel games are.
What's a light novel game?
That's the one where it's like, it's close to
like Telltale. Not like Telltale, right?
No. Okay. It's close. I want to say it's close to like the God. Why can't I think of the name? The dating sims, but minus the dating part.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what light novel games are.
Maybe I gotta check one out. I probably haven't ever played one, so
yeah. I feel like if you Google search what you just described to me, that'll be
like a bunch of light novel games. Yeah. I'm gonna find it because like I said,
I was describing us like a slice of life game.
No, seriously, I'm playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, right? And like, I barely care about the battles at all. I just want to be a teacher and like talk to my students and stuff. I don't know.
That's the part of those games I hate. I'm like, get me back out on the field. I don't care if talking to Trish is gonna boost my attack tomorrout. I don't want to hear what she has to say.
I love that stuff. Oh my god. I don't know why.
I hated that in Persona. It's like,
really?
Get out of here so you can go chat with this green hair girl.
Boost your social links. You know what I'm
saying? Care.
You didn't have a husbanda that you wanted to
care.
Lock in?
Well, that's the thing. It's always like the one I want is like the one you can't ever max out anyway. So I'm just like, give up.
Yeah.
Give up now.
Story missions only for this character.
Yeah. All right, number 3 is next on the list is Dead Space. I currently it's sitting in my PlayStation right now. I haven't gotten to touch it yet, but yes, I will be playing that, and I'm excited that the excitement from this remake made people excited about remaking the second Dead Space.
Yeah, because I would.
What about you?
Like I said, I haven't played Dead Space, but I've only heard good things, and from what I've seen, it looks like they completely did it justice. So that's all I can ever ask for in a remake is that they, do what people loved about it, but add just enough improvements to where it feels super modern.
Make it better.
Yeah, exactly.
Clean it up.
Get all the annoying stuff out of the old game. So yeah.
Because I'm like, I like that feeling of like, hey, when we tried to make this before, we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And now we can.
Yeah, and it just feels good too.
But next on the list is A Like a Dragon, Ishin, which is a Yakuza game.
So this one's funny, right? I was when I first saw this, I was like, this is going to be my entry to Yakuza. It's a samurai, it's basically the same premise, except it's just in a feudal Japan, which I love. That's like my favorite era of Japanese. Mm-hmm. And then first knock, no English dub for the remake. Why? Now's the chance to add.
That's not, dub. Bro. You clearly have never played a Yakuza game. That's
all the new ones have English dubs now, though.
That's not what it's about.
Everyone after 5 is an English dub now.
Yeah, look how long it took for them to do that. It's not. That's not what Yakuza's about. Go ahead, next. What's next?
Get out of here.
What's next? What's next?
It just. That's definitely the biggest thing, but just watching more and more of the gameplay, it looks more of a remaster than a remake. Like it doesn't look that modern. It looks like an old school beat 'em up when I look at the gameplay. Like just the way the attacks move, the kind of jankiness of the there's not really a lock on.
So it might be more for someone who previously enjoyed the game,
was a fan,
less for someone who this would be their first. Gotcha.
Yeah, definitely. Because I'm no longer looking at this as my entry into Yakuza. It's gonna have to be like Yakuza 6 or something. Or no, it's gonna be Lost Judgment now that they switched the gameplay. I'm not even gonna play
when somebody
Yakuza
asked me somebody asked me like, should I get Like a Dragon or Returnal? I was like, Returnal.
Returnal? What? What kind of choice? One's a PS5 next gen only exclusive with all the polish.
This is a PC person. person.
No, I'm just saying one's like current gen with all the polish, ray tracing, takes all the advantage of the technology. Yeah. One's a game from like mid 2000s that didn't add anything new really. It's just kept just polish the graphics.
I didn't question their choice pool.
That's a crazy choice.
I just helped them make the choice.
to be stressed over that decision is kind of crazy.
I was trying to give them maximum playtime.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right, where are we?
Metroid
Number 5.
Remaster.
Metroid Prime Remastered.
Amazing.
I have not touched this yet. But your description of it whatever ago you talked about it. It made me want to play it.
This is the exact opposite of the last thing we just said, where this is a game moonlighting as a remaster, but it's actually a remake. It's actually a ground up. It's moonlighting as a remaster. They're being humble. This is a remake, like ground up. It feels like a modern game.
I think you mean posing.
Yeah, what's moonlighting?
I was like, moonlighting would imply that during the daytime it is that, and at night it's de-resing itself at night.
It's doing all its vigilante work as a remaster.
By night, it's shitting itself down into its shitty.
It's toning the pixel count down every night.
By night, it's decreasing its frame rate.
Yeah, drop it down to 30 or 25, whatever.
Don't play the Metroid Prime Remaster at night. Yeah.
But not
it's
posing.
Moonlighting as a shitty remake.
posing. It's posing as a remaster.
Sorry, that when you just said that, it reminded me of my friend who's like, we had a conversation. It's like, you know how you're just like, you do something a lot when you're young and then you just don't do it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, it was like he's telling me a story where like this is a story he was telling me when he was like, he was going to play basketball recently, but he's out of shape.
Yeah, sounds like me too.
But so the people that they were telling him, he was like, they were like, oh, we go hard on the court, you know? Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh yeah, I used to go ham all the time when I lived on the base. And I was like, when you lived on the base 20 years ago?
They just try to sneak it in like nobody knew how long it was.
I was like, he was like, I do that all the time. I was like, 20 years ago?
Yeah. Look, time's been flying recently. My adult life has been flying. It feels like yesterday, though.
It's like, yep, do that all the time when I was 7.
Yeah.
And I'm now 34. All right. Number 6, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I have not touched this yet. What about you?
I'm almost to the end of this game. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know if I played this game originally. I don't know.
I think this was N64.
I was like, the scenes that I saw, like the character things I saw looked familiar, but
it was like the first fully co-op Kirby game. I think I could have that completely wrong.
I feel like Kirby games always are like 16 games in one, and you don't ever, because there's always like 4 mini games.
There are mad
that you're like, you're like, was that mini game from this Kirby game, or was it from that other?
There's a
Kirby
billion
game?
mini games in this one. A billion.
Like, Kirby is chaos within itself.
It is.
But yeah, what do you like about this? Is it good? Should we pick this up?
It's a Kirby game. It ain't got nothing on Nightmare in Dreamland. That's just me. Okay. But it's super easy. Like, you never die playing this game. It's like you could be half asleep and beat the game. It's that easy, which I think kind of takes away from it for me. Okay. But in terms of like polish and how it looks and how it feels and stuff, it feels modern. Like, it feels like a brand new Kirby game that could have came out today. Yeah. But yeah, the only thing is I find myself getting a little bored when I'm playing it because it's just so mindless. Like, it's so easy. It's, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Whereas I don't feel like I remember like Amazing Mirror and Nightmare in Dreamland on GBA being like that. I feel like those were a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
That's the main thing with that one.
Next up, I booted this up for like half a second.
Really?
Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. Yes. It. I don't know what these games are going for anymore. Like, I don't know what their peak of. Yeah, that part's fun.
They want you to do this now.
The girls have the weirdest costumes. Yeah. And they run like they're like.
Yeah.
Like, they run and like you're like, that's not how a truly afraid person would run away.
Yeah.
But yeah, these games are like, at least from where they came from, are like hella rezzed up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I still think the camera mechanics are fun. Yeah. Like trying to use your controller to like
I was just about to say it's
a camera object.
Switch. It's perfect on Switch. Yeah.
Oh, and Switch, do you have the gyro?
Yeah. Okay. You can use the gyro with it.
I was playing on an Xbox controller, so I don't think I was taking advantage of any gyro.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it. I probably will go back to it once I finish. Like, Resident Evil makes you feel strong because you have a gun.
Yeah.
The
Fatal
camera
Frame
obscura doesn't make you feel powerful.
No.
It just makes you feel like it makes you feel like an observer who might be able to rescue themselves.
Yeah.
But most of the time you're like hoping a ghost doesn't get too close to you.
Exactly, because you're still going to be terrified.
Yeah, you don't go into like panic flicker mode where you're like, ah!
I was just going to say the whole thing with Fatal Frame is like it'll be clear, everything will be good, and then you turn, it's like right here in the shot. Like,
it just appears. It's like, wow.
Yeah. Like, well,
and then trying to get it in frame and do all the special orb stuff is crazy.
Yeah. Is Fatal Frame the horror version of Pokemon Snap? Is there enough similarities there?
What?
I know it's...
Maybe, but I haven't played enough Fatal Frame to know if you're trying to trigger events with your camera the way you do in Pokemon. But
it feels on rails though, kind of.
Yeah, and Fatal Frame is usually less about collecting and more about finding someone who went missing. But I could be wrong. I haven't played I've only played like 2 Fatal Frame games, like very briefly.
Yeah, I've only played a couple minutes.
But I don't know, maybe I think it could be like a more action oriented Pokemon Snap.
Yeah. There's not a lot of camera games, right?
Yeah.
Like in general. So it reminds me of that.
So next up is Resident Evil 4, which I think we talked enough about.
Yeah.
I'm fine with how we talked about that for now.
For sure.
But after that is one that I'm super excited for, being a Bioshock fan, which is System Shock. I'm excited about this. I hope this like doesn't get delayed or anything crazy.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what this shapes into, because it doesn't look like a typical remake where it's got like a massive budget behind it. It looks like more of like a passion project remake. So that's kind of why I'm like more curious to see just how the final product ends up looking like, because it's been in development for like ever now. Like they first announced this like years and years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be interested to see when it finally comes out.
Yeah, I purposely keep myself a little bit in the dark about System Shock. I have no idea what it is really, but
I just know you're on a space station. There's an evil AI, and then there's monsters. That's about all I know.
And after that, we have Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. I'm super excited for. I don't have a ton to say about that. I just hope that they keep it. I hope that they keep it simple in the way that, like, to get in, you could get into a game really fast.
I think they will
on the old ones, and I hope that they keep it that way. Not simple. Let's say trim, not simple, but trim. I really feel like Advance Wars games are very trim in helping you understand the mechanics very quickly. While playing, so I like that a lot about that game. It's really easy to pick up and put down.
I'll just say if the Metroid remaster is any indication, then I think you're safe.
I would never compare those.
No, I'm just saying in terms of like Nintendo's got their eye on it. Like, hey, don't do this. You know what I mean? Like,
but that Metroid is a Nintendo IP, right?
So is Advance Wars.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's owned by Nintendo.
Next up is Layers of Fear. If you ask me, I feel like this is way too soon for
this game
a
just
remake.
come out on VR, and wasn't this game on VR and all that too?
I mean, I feel like it came out at least within 7 years ago.
Yeah, definitely. It was on PS4.
So yeah, I feel like I don't know what the purpose of a remake is with this.
I don't know either. Unless they're about to come out with a movie.
I never found Layers of Fear to be that spooky. I think it's more trippy than it is spooky, but that's just me.
I haven't really played it.
What about Risk of Rain Returns?
I only know the title of Risk of Rain. I really don't even know what it's about
Ditto.
or anything. But
I've heard
hear
from
about
people
it all the time.
Yeah, I've heard that it's a good co-op game, I think, but that's all I know of it. Next up is Silent Hill 2, which I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
I like all these old like 90s horror game remakes.
I would argue that the original Silent Hill 2 is the scariest video game ever made. I would argue that.
I'm fine with you arguing that. If only we can also add to that any game that makes it really hard for you to fight back is scary.
It's the mannequins for me though.
I don't give a shit. I'll knock the mannequins to pieces.
And they get right back up. And then you hear that almost Mr. Esque, but it's the Mr. X-esque, but you hear the I don't know if I can recreate the sound properly. You hear the butcher knife scraping from Pyramid Head in the background.
Oh, God.
You just know he's behind you somewhere. Yeah. No, that game is terrifying.
I've never played it.
You fight a literal god in one of the Silent Hill games. I think it might be 2.
My exposure to Silent Hill is very little because I want to like experience it genuinely.
Yeah.
And so like I haven't really watched people play it.
Wait until it's super duper up-resed. Wait until maybe that'll be this remake, but
yeah, it's gonna mess with me. Like the Alan Wake now is messing with me.
Yeah, that one's gonna jack you
up. Which I need to get back to that too. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Is that the one I'm playing?
Rebirth.
Or is that coming out later this year?
What is Rebirth?
Is that the second part?
Is that Crisis Core? Oh, that is the second part.
Okay, because I was like, I remember they said that weird. It stopped.
Yeah.
Like in the okay. Yeah. So
it's not even out yet.
That's a continuation that we're looking forward to.
Yeah, because FF7 remake, I love.
Yeah.
And
okay.
That's
all I want. I just want you to reconfirm that you enjoyed the first.
Absolutely, yeah, love it.
And then very last on the list is Lollipop Chainsaw.
Didn't know this was getting a remake. That's hilarious.
I never played this game. I'm just aware of it. And I know that some people really love it.
Yeah.
For some reason, it reminds me of like Dead Rising.
Yeah,
like that
it's just
era
wacky,
of games.
like chaos, like.
So, for those that enjoy that will be there later this year.
Nice.
All right. Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. Now, are you ready for some anime?
Let's do it.
Woo.
That big old season finale
of
My Hero. It's over.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I haven't finished the episode yet.
Oh,
what?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm like halfway through.
Yeah, you saw.
I was trying to watch it right before.
You saw everything already that I'm going to talk about.
Damn it!
It's not a lot.
So My Hero just ended on it literally it was up here and then it just went.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see you next time.
We're gonna have 4 episodes of like basically twaddling Deku. We had 4 You're
trying to get this man to take a nap. It's so funny because he takes a nap in the last episode. He actually goes to sleep, which is hilarious.
I can't believe that after this peak height heat of this season, we get the Dobby reveal in this season.
Yeah.
And then you're just gonna spend 4.
This was my favorite
final
season.
Episode. Your 4 final episodes are Deku swaddling.
Yeah. I'm out.
I'm about to quit. I'm about to quit My Hero like everybody else did.
Hold on. We got the Bakugo
riding
apology.
This roller coaster.
The Bakugo apology was big.
I can't.
That was big for me.
Y'all might have needed that.
That was a moment for me.
Listen, y'all might have needed that. I didn't need that from him.
Expound.
I didn't need that from him. Bakugo has done no wrong in my eye. I didn't need that from him.
No wrong.
So I'm glad that y'all got what you needed from my boy, but I didn't need that from him.
Is the definition of the sin of pride. Definition of the sin of pride. Hear what I'm saying? Sin of pride.
Listen, when he backed down on calling Deku this week, and he corrected himself and called him Izuku, I was like, don't do that. I was like, don't lower yourself.
He's not. He's being not a jerk for once in his life. Having some compassion.
You stand proud. You JoJo stand proud.
Nah, he knows now that Deku can give him hands and feet like it's nothing. You're nowhere near Deku's level now.
He told him, he said, I'm not giving up on being number 1 hero, by the way.
Oh, that's cool.
He did let them know that.
I hope you can find 6 more quirks along the way. Little fella. Humble yourself.
I'm not going into this.
Humble yourself, little fella.
Never.
You remember in that movie where I gave you a little taste of that power? That's the last taste you're getting of this.
Make your 1 quirk rise to the power of 7.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it, Bakugo.
That little taste of all for one or one for all that I gave you in the last movie, that's the closest you're ever getting to me, little fella. That's
you know
how
that
Deku
girl?
should be.
You know that girl that came out and polished the All Might statue?
Yeah.
That's me for Bakugo's pride. I'm coming out every day because his pride saved me, son. I'm the last one his pride saved.
His pride saved me.
And I'm coming out and I'm polishing that statue every day. when y'all tarnish it with your Deku apologists.
Nah, Bakugo realized he ain't been living right. He got to get right. He ain't been living right this whole time.
Nah, that's that fuel. That's his fire. That's his drive.
Inward. It is. No, it is.
But yeah, no. So I'm a little, I guess that's my little bit of hate sprinkle is like, I hate that we just swaddled Deku for 4 episodes.
No, I agree. The last episode, I hate it. Or yeah, last episode when they were all the civilians were all mad about him being able to come there. I'm like, yo, if I was Deku right now, I'd be like, you worthless bums. Y'all can go outside of these walls and die right now for all I care. Talking about, I can't sleep here? Me? See, and that's what I feel like Bakugo would have handled that situation. No, I agree with you there. Yeah, I agree 100%.
With you. He would have walked right through that crowd.
That episode got me so tight. Because, like, y'all are some bums. Y'all are just sitting in here doing nothing, complaining.
Yeah. But see, and that's my only gripe is that, like, if we had never had this before.
Which part?
Like, this whole, like, heroes saving heroes type thing. If we hadn't had that before, then this would have been, like, it would have hit a little harder. But I'm just, like, I feel like we do this every season now.
Probably, yeah.
So I'm a little bit worn out on the, like, heroes supporting heroes.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what you're supposed to do. Like, we know this is a hard situation, but, yeah, watching this episode, I'm just, like, I feel like these last 4 episodes really could have been 2.
This episode was an animation break. Straight up, they're just taking an animation.
I feel like all 4 of them were.
Yeah. They're just animation break. We're tapped out, but we're on contract for 24.
This feels like we ran out of budget. This feels like
I agree.
I don't know. So and it probably happens this way in the manga, but I just feel like it really could have been in 2 episodes instead of 4.
I agree. They dragged out a lot. There was a lot of close-ups on people, like half crying, like long face shots and stuff like that. Yeah.
And a lot of repeating the same things over and over again.
My boy Stain, oh my god, they tease me with Stain just to have him say 2 words to All Might and walk away to never be seen again. I'm like,
to half-ass challenge him.
I thought she was about to slice him on the back of the calf and lick his blood and have him paralyzed there while you're talking crap to him, and then Deku comes in and saves the day.
Something. I did think we were gonna lead a little action when Stain showed up.
I did too.
I was like, oh, he's just here to remind us that he takes heroism way too far.
Yeah.
To the point where he's like, if you're not good enough as a hero, I'm just gonna kill you.
One thing, do you mind if I share a slight spoiler about Stain?
That's on you.
Do you mind if do you mind if I share it with you? I'm saying?
No.
Okay, so I just thought this was super interesting. I just happened to look up some Stain stuff. Stain was actually a vigilante before he became the hero killer.
I could believe that.
That's like, I was like, oh, that's a cool tie to the vigilantes, because it's like he dropped out of school because he didn't like the same reason he didn't like. Yeah, and that's why I'm like,
his message has been clear.
Yeah,
I've never been confused about his message.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm always like, he's not truly a villain in my mind.
He's not evil.
He's like an overzealous hero.
Yeah,
at worst.
Yeah.
I know we were trying to think of words for like people who are like overly religiously attached last time, and you said fanatic. The word I was trying to remember was zealot.
Okay, zealot.
And I'm like, he's like a hero zealot.
Yeah.
And it's just like his definition of hero is like the only definition.
Yeah. It's like hero-dom over everything. There's no ulterior motives allowed.
And honestly, can you help me understand All Might's conflict? Because I don't even know what his conflict is right now.
I mean, to put it simple, I just think he feels useless now. Like, for most of his life, he was this dude he's just like Deku, where what truly drives him is helping others. And he went from no powers like Deku to being All Might for years and years and years, to where he was the symbol of peace. He was everything he was striving to be. And he wore that on his back to suddenly now be just useless. And he can't even help the dude he swore to protect. I think he's just having conflict. Like, he just feels useless. That's what I think it is.
Okay. Because I'm like, yeah, in my head, I'm just like, but bro, like, it was based on your powers that you don't have anymore.
No, but perfect example. It's exactly what Stain said. He said, what made you All Might was not your powers. It was your attitude and your outlook. And
yeah, he was like, that's what the kids picked up.
Yeah. And All Might's issue is he was attributing all of his stuff to his powers. And now that that's gone, it's like his identity is gone. He doesn't know it.
But it is hard to show up and be like, I am here, when like somebody could pluck you, and your heart might stop.
You're coughing blood every 2 seconds. No,
it's
agree.
A little hard. Like I'm really like shocked that we don't even see him do like the 5-second transformation anymore.
He does. He actually does it in this episode one time.
Okay, he did. Okay,
because Stain's
I was starting to get concerned because I'm like, he doesn't do like the little poof burst anymore.
It's funny because Stain's like, "You're not All Might, fam." Like, and he's
that's what I was waiting.
He's like, he pops up for 2 seconds, and he pops right back down, starts coughing up blood. So like, he can't even hold it for like half a second anymore.
That's what I'm like. Ooh, it's getting really thin.
It's like literally just a front at this point. Like, it's no power behind it at all.
I'm like, he can't even bust it out to like say a catchphrase real quick and then turn back.
Yeah, so I think he's just being hard on himself. You know, he's always had the weight of the world on his shoulders, so he feels like even without his powers, he's still supposed to be that savior. And then he keeps looking up at the sign where it's like, not here, and he's like, oh dang, I am here, guys. I am here. It's not my fault.
Yeah, but I'm like, what are you supposed to do? Like, this kid has your power.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't even have the ability to like train in it with him. So,
but I think he did a really good job of getting Deku prepared.
That's my point. I'm like, why are you being so hard on yourself?
You did your job.
I feel like you've literally done the best job that you could do.
Literally, like,
so
your student has now surpassed you. You know,
I told you, I'm still mad. I'm like, I'm more mad at Deku for making All Might drop that bento. I'm still mad about that. I'm like, God damn it, but like, just
take the
damn lunchbox.
You don't even gotta eat it. Just take it. Yeah. No, I agree.
Like, I just have the gif of All Might falling in the rain in my head, and I'm like, you're better than this, bro. So, one thing we did not get to bring up because we missed last week, but I'm pretty sure this was from last week.
Mm-hmm.
Eri is not fixing Aizawa's leg.
Yeah, they did show Aizawa beat up. I don't think that means she can't, though.
No. He had a prosthetic.
Yeah. I think her power's just not there yet.
I don't think she's fixing legs. I don't think she's rewinding time like that.
But she did it. That's what Overhaul was making her do.
But I just don't think that she's fixing him like that.
I'm pretty sure.
Why would they give him a prosthetic leg?
Her power's not there yet. She's not that.
She gave what's his name his power back
on a whim. She was they had. You remember
that was not on a whim.
You remember that whole episode when he was explaining it? She was like, "I don't know if I can do this. I don't."
She doubted herself for like a second.
Yeah,
and then she did it.
But I think
it was. She just said
that
I've been practicing on mice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it was a one-off. Like, that's just how I took that. Like, we need a Mirion right now. This could go completely wrong, but we're just going to gamble and pray that my powers are able to do this. And I think it just, by some miracle, it worked for him. But who's to say for...
I don't think so either, because Aizawa, much like Mirion, is like the one that's with Eri, I think. Because I remember I kept telling you every time, like, during the more... action-packed episodes, like every time they would flash to Aizawa, he would think about Eri for some reason, and I'm like, why does he keep flashing to her?
Yeah.
But I'm like, he's probably been the one that's been taking care of her with a Mirion.
Yeah. But what was she doing to the mice? Wasn't she regrowing their limbs? I'm pretty sure she was regrowing their tails and stuff like that.
I don't know. That's why I'm trying to remember.
I just think she's not strong enough yet.
I just thought it was very weird that they would make a point of showing that prosthetic leg.
Yeah, it's either that or there's a time limit, are the two things, I think. Similar to how, like, I think way back we learned that All For One, the reason his face is all jacked up is because he didn't get his healing quirk until his skin had already healed. So he couldn't go backwards and undo the scarring that was already scarred. So it was a time limit like that.
I was like, part of me just thinks he's more intimidating without a face.
Which he is. He's nasty looking. Oh, and the other random thing I just noticed is that they show the black hole girls, or I don't know even know if it's a girl or a guy, but they show the black hole professor, number 2. Isn't that
the spacesuit?
Yeah, they show
without
their face all the time.
Yeah,
now. And I'm like, I thought they were just a massive black hole.
Me
under
too.
The suit,
I was like so hyped to see a face inside. Yeah, I did. I noticed the same thing. I was like, oh shit, they're showing her face.
Like, that person has a face. Yeah, I was like, that's weird.
That was nice.
But yeah, this is a random
thing
I kept noticing.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I gotta just finish that episode. But yeah, I felt like it wasn't going anywhere, so I didn't rush to finish it before.
It's not a lot. They basically are just like, this is it. We'll see you next time. More adventure in the future.
All right, so do you mind if I switch, or do you have anything else to say? All right, I just wanted to, because we didn't really get to address these things about Attack on Titan, and since we're waiting for God knows how long for the next part, I know you said end of this year, I figured I'd ask these questions now. But we kind of talked about this outside the podcast, but this is just to capture it. So we said, one thing I wrote down, we said, understanding the Titan positioning in the walls and the mechanics of the rumbling.
Doesn't make sense.
Because something you brought up was like, how the hell is he covering the whole Earth
planet
from colossal Titans from within the walls? Just the walls.
And the walls didn't even cover the whole island, mind you. Covered a small portion of the island.
So I'm just go on this small adventure with me. Okay. So when we're shown, I forget the name of the city,
Shinganshina,
whatever.
Shigashina,
something like
one
that.
of them. The inner city, right?
So come along on this small adventure with me. We have the three walls. Was it Rosa, Maria, and Cena or something like that?
Yeah.
And you had we had the center ring, a middle ring, outer ring. There's giant in between those rings are basically
land
giant
masses.
plains.
Yeah.
Just fields and forests, what have you. And supposedly those cities, which to me look fairly huge.
Yeah, definitely.
From the perspective of the characters, the cities always look massive.
Definitely.
But in the grand scale of the rings, of the walls, the cities were just little bumps.
Yeah, minus the internal one.
Yeah, it's like if this was the ring, the city would be like my fingernail.
Yeah.
So
it's like a state, right? Like each wall I think of is almost like a county or like a state where there's mad land, and then some of the land is populated, and there's farms and there's cities and there's towns inside of the wall. You know what I mean?
I just want to make it clear that the city is not within the ring.
Right.
The city is like a hub on the ring.
Okay,
when
what do you
actually
mean by that?
look. So that's what I'm saying. So if this is Wall Maria, right? If
you're talking about the internal city, right? Like the big city on the middle.
Well, the ring. I'm talking about the walls. The walls. Because each of the rings is a wall, and that's where the Titans were contained, supposedly in those walls, right? So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, the blue part of my fingernail of this ring is the city.
Right.
So that massive city that we're seeing is actually just this little part of the wall.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is to say, I think that the walls could be much bigger than we think.
No, let's assume the walls took up the entire island.
Yeah.
That's still nothing compared to the entire globe.
No, but I'm saying that to say that, like, if the city looks that big to us within the wall, but the city is very small within the walls, then I'm just saying. No,
you're saying we might be misscaling the walls.
Much bigger than we think they are.
I agree.
Yes.
Well, we already saw the Colossal Titan just tower over the wall, straight up.
Well, that's the Colossal Titan.
Which Eren is like 20 times bigger than that Colossal Titan even.
Yes.
And so all I'm saying is, like, yeah, we definitely could be misinterpreting the size of the wall. But even if the entirety of Paradise Island was covered with Colossal Titans, physically that should not be enough Titans to cover the entire globe.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Hold on. The walls also have a thickness to them.
Yeah.
And don't forget, 70% of the Earth is water. If this is Earth, 70% of it is water.
Yeah. But they're going through the water.
They're going through the water. But I'm saying, like, the rumbling is not happening specifically on the water. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that if they go out in the water, right, but they only actually have to rumble on the landmass, that's a significantly less amount of space to rumble.
One other thing that I think was confirmed in this last thing that came out is that it very much seems like it's not a worldwide rumbling. It very much seems like Eren is directing it to target points of interest.
Right.
But they're just showing us the destruction at those points. Yes. And then I think from the character's perspective, the the legend of the rumbling talks about the entire world, but I think in actuality, Eren is just directing it to highly condensed pockets of civilization. Yeah. So
And
I don't
that's
think
what I'm
it's
saying.
actually
It's like,
literally covering the entire globe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking he's push brooming land masses as opposed to like thinking about this giant outward ring of titans just expanding across. I'm not.
I do still think, like, let's say you're a Marleyan and you happen to get lucky and hear about the rumbling like way before it gets to you. I still do think you could go somewhere way like hundreds of miles away into the middle of nowhere and never see a titan, like, because Eren's just not targeting you. You know what I mean? I think he's only targeting cities and towns. Yeah.
Maybe. But that's why I said when you see that episode and them just coming over the mountains.
Yeah.
That's what makes it feel like, nah, he's
I know. That's why it's
sweeping
intense.
Clean.
Yeah, that's why it looks intense. It looks intense.
So great. It's so much more scary than the T-Rex ripple.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
especially that scene where the family is like, let's get to high ground. Then they look and it's just
doesn't matter.
It's like, well, it's hopeless.
Oh
it's literally hopeless.
I could not imagine like holding my little brother's hand, holding your hand, drag, and then all of a sudden you're crushed.
It's intense.
Next to me.
And then you just see the foot coming and you have no choice but to just wait. That's intense.
I can't believe they showed like a person being crushed.
Slowly too. They showed the foot on the head.
They showed the like teeth and like, it was awful.
And it was a child.
2 children. So beyond that, I have Armin's promotion, which I thought happened swiftly but was appropriate.
Yeah. He's ready.
I just always feel bad for Armin though, because he's always like having to make the most crucial decision with the least amount of preparation.
Yeah.
And
he's always
so
thrown into crap.
Even though he's good at it, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. He's always thrown into it. Yeah.
Because it's not like in My Hero where Deku's the observant, right? He's the strategizer. It's not like them where it's like he rises and shines with that ability. It's like everyone looks at Armin, fix it!
Yeah.
And he's like, ah!
like, oh my God, not again. Yeah.
He's like, guys, I have social anxiety and
like I didn't ask for any of this, like at all.
No. So yeah, and in mentioning Armin's promotion, we can't not mention Hanja's death, which I thought was going to be lame, but ended up being one of the most epic deaths that I've ever seen.
Epic, but I still think kind of unnecessary. Like, I don't think he had to die.
Talk about sending someone out in flames,
Levi's
for no reason.
You got it, bro. Fist bump. Go ahead, Short.
He was like, see you, Cap.
I'm like, didn't y'all like love each other? Like, that's all you got for her, Levi? Just go hard.
Brother in arms.
Go out with a bang.
Because I'm pretty sure that he wanted to go out that way, but like it just didn't happen because of stupid ass Zeke.
Zeke gimped him up. No, now he's just mad at Zeke. He just wants revenge now.
Now he just has zipper.
How dare you blow yourself up next to me?
So rude.
How dare you try to suicide bomb me?
How dare you cripple me?
Yeah.
And then my last kind of substantial question, what do you think Mikasa's thinking right now?
I'm going to do whatever I can to save Eren. And if I can't save him, I'm going to die with him.
So you think she's fully just going to, like, be with Eren regardless?
Absolutely. Because who cares about the Survey Corps? Who cares? Eren is
Connie!
The one who's... Yeah.
Jean!
I mean, of course they care about their friends, right? But...
we must fight for Sasha's lost potatoes.
Got to. R.I.P. Sasha.
But no,
Sasha always.
I was a little bit on your side, but then something about the scarf.
Her not wearing it?
Made me feel like, is Mikasa gonna, for once, own her own feelings? Like, she might choose Eren, but I'm gonna wonder if this time this is really of her own thought process.
Yes, you know I do think she... Now would be the time to, right? It's the end of the world.
Because to me, it's always been, it's a gut reaction of, I'm going to save the person who saved my life, period. Just boom. Just go, save him. Yeah. Save him. Not thinking about it. And I feel like this is like the first time that she's considering her own feelings.
Yeah. I think she's in love with him. I think she's finally.
I don't think that by any means.
Really?
No, I think Mikasa is fully reckoning her now life as essentially like a death machine. Like,
really?
I really don't think Mikasa's been like thinking a lot. I think she really just has been going along like this kid. He saved my life. He's my only family. I don't think I'm not saying that Mikasa's stupid, right? I think that she just doesn't think because I feel like to her it's pointless thinking. Right? Like, you don't need to think about who you're loyal to if you're just loyal to Eren.
But I think I agree with you, but I think in that she's consciously and she knows that she's burying feelings, like her real feelings. She knows that she's burying them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think now that she's been shook by somebody, she's reconciling all that. But before, Mikasa just acted. I always thought she just acted.
I definitely do think she is.
I'm only in the scouts.
Just acts it,
because of Eren. Yeah. I'm only doing this because we have to survive.
But I also just think, too, in literally spending your entirety of your waking life with someone, you kind of just grow to love them.
Kind of. Yeah.
And not just her. Armin loves Eren, too, you know? And Armin loves Mikasa, and Mikasa loves Armin, you know?
There's a loyalty to Eren that I think Armin doesn't have.
Really?
That Mikasa does.
You don't think Armin has that?
No, because... No, he's showing it right now. Like, he's not blindly following his friend. He's trying to stop this. He's trying to stop this.
But I think I think if Armin ultimately has to make a decision to kill Eren, he would also kill himself too, or want to die too.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm not saying he's turned on him.
Yeah.
But I'm saying he's trying to play the fence. Yeah. And that's still playing the fence is still not being on your friend's side.
But why do you think he's on a different side than Mikasa? Because Mikasa's not just following him. She wants to stop him too. Because
Armin actually grew up as, like, yes, he's Eren's friend. Yeah. But Armin is a child of this village and like a member of the core and has an identity outside of Eren. Whereas I don't think Mikasa doesn't even have a family. Yeah. You know, like her whole identity is built on Eren rescuing her from that dude. And I think
Eren's family kind of was her family too.
But listen, I think too, it's very important that it was Eren as a child that came out and rescued her. It wasn't Eren's family.
Yeah.
It was him.
Yeah.
So like that's why I'm a little bit too where it was just I don't call it love because I think it's loyalty to the only thing that ever like kept you alive.
I see what you're saying.
It's a because there's as a human in this world, there is a comfort to just aligning yourself to something that you know that if you can say this thing's always going to be right. Yeah. So if I follow it, I am therefore always also right. So I don't have to then.
I don't think she cares about being right though.
No. I'm just saying like I'm comparing that to like a real world feeling, which is like if somebody has like a truly nice mother, it's like if I just always do what my mom says and she's always right, then I'll always be right. I don't have to think about it.
Of course, but if you do that for your entire life, then you're probably also gonna love that person just by nature of humans. Like
yeah. And I'm just clarifying that you don't mean romantic.
Yes,
because they're not technically brother and sister. Yeah. So that's why I just want to clarify that I don't think Mikasa is at all in love with Eren.
Yeah, I just mean love, full stop, period. Whether it's family, whether it's I can't live without this person, whether it's this is my best friend, whether it's this is all I've known, like just love, period.
But that's why I don't even think it's that. I think it's just a familial bond. But she's also like Eren did initially, because he's not blinded by some kind of weird life-saving loyalty, and he's not blinded by being like one of his kind on his own. You know?
Yeah.
He is, yes, I care about Eren, but my friend has now lost his mind, and so therefore I'm gonna switch over to the things that are actually important and actually care about, and what I think my friend initially would have wanted before he lost his mind.
But even Armin, though, I think Armin's got ulterior motives in here.
Like
he might have that to save Eren, no matter what, at any cost. At any cost, I think Armin, even if that means just like Naruto and Sasuke, even that means I will kill myself to die with you so you don't have to die alone.
I'm not saying he's not going to try, but I think that, like, Armin knows what's right. Or at least what's right to the world.
Of course, yeah.
I'm fully
I just
on
don't
Aaron's
think he
side,
cares.
so that's why I don't say what's right.
I think he knows what's right. I just don't think he cares.
I think
he's portraying that.
But see, that's why I'm always gonna argue with you, because I'm like, I think Armin feels the weight of that promotion. Armin feels the weight of his team. Like Connie, Jean, Sasha, they all exist to Armin.
Who else is on his team?
It's not like Aaron and Mikasa, where it's like nobody else exists but us.
I agree. But who else is on Armin's team? Even though he's commander, he's still looking at Aaron as a part of that same team. Jean. But he's still looking at Aaron as a part of that team. He's still looking at Aaron as a part of that team.
I don't think so. That's what I'm telling. That's the difference between Armin and Mikasa for me right now. Is that Mikasa might still be thinking about Aaron. I don't think Armin is. I think Armin's like, if we save Aaron, cool. But if we can't, I think that's just the way that's the choice he made.
I straight up think Armin's more likely to die for Aaron than Mikasa at this point, because I think Mikasa's cold enough to be able to live without Aaron. Armin is going to die on the inside. Well, if he has to kill Aaron.
But she's gonna be questioning her purpose
probably
for the rest of forever.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas I think Armin could actually let Aaron die and live a decent life after all of this. Especially with this like new Annie flirtation.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see, because I have no idea where this ending is going. From just people saying it's bad in the manga and all that stuff. I have no idea if Aaron's gonna die. I have no idea if everybody's gonna die. Maybe the reason it's bad is they just talk to him and Aaron's like, okay, and he's just like, I understand, I'll stop. Like, who knows? Like,
not after that. Not after them tears.
Yeah.
You listen. There's something about crying in a child's face about being sorry that you're gonna kill him that hits me in a way that like. Like him just being like, I'm sorry.
And I'm assuming he's already seen all of it play out because of his weird time travel powers.
His weird future vision.
Yeah, he's already seen it all.
Where does Ymir's power end is my question.
And who put the little nasty god centipede under the tree in the first place?
I know. Like, how does where does it get its power from, and where does that power end?
I know it's one of those anime questions that'll never be answered, but it's fine.
So bizarre.
Just a god centipede.
So yeah, those were my Attack on Titan questions. Oh, and I said, and then my last question was, why are the parts so goddamn far apart? Like these last chapters.
They're dragging their feet, bro. Super dragging their feet. They're playing games. I know it's already done too. Like, I feel like it's just sitting there waiting to press the button.
Yeah.
It's wild.
But anything else you want to say about that?
That's all I got, really.
The only thing I have a couple notes for Mandalorian. Our uncle, I had a discussion with our uncle because he's the only one that's as caught up as I was at the time. I actually was behind him, but he had me thinking for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I was really kind of like, my brain was like, we were having one of those conversations where nobody gets a word in when he brought this up. But he was thinking that Grogu could have been a clone of Yoda, which in my mind could still actually work.
That could work.
We were trying to work out the timing, but now that I'm thinking about it here, Yoda doesn't have to be dead for a clone of him to exist.
No, not at all.
So,
or alive. He doesn't have to be alive or dead. They just need his DNA from any point.
Yeah, and then the other part of me was wondering, like, could Grogu be like an Yoda, like an egg from Yoda?
Well,
because we don't know how that species reproduces. I
was gonna say, I know they've always talked about Yoda being rare, but they never said he was the last one. So that would be the only thing that would make
there's a straight up female Yoda in the series of movies, like canon. I forget her name. Like, I forget what her name is. It's like she's got a weird name, but
there are known species in the world and it's just
she's
known
on a
that
council.
They're rare. Yeah, they're just spread out. So that would be the only thing that would be like, all right, what would be the benefit of making him a clone? If the whole species is force sensitive anyway, they all can become Yoda potentially anyway if they train. So it's like, do we need the tie to Yoda? Like
I don't know, and that's what I wonder. I was like, part of me thinks Yoda may have been special because of his like ability, like his Force knowledge absorption. Maybe he's more adept at the Force than other people.
Well, he was also 500 years old, so he had 500 years to train. You know what I'm saying?
True, but he was also a fucking goofball, which Grogu is too.
He is too.
Which is like kind of giving me that hint that like Grogu might have a little bit of the silliness that Yoda had, because Yoda was a bit of a prankster.
Yeah,
remember. And then my other question to that then was like, I kind of just wonder. I'm like, Jedi are always so like sparse and spread out, and like, but yet they're always trying to like work together. But I'm just like, what is the goal? Is
now
the goal,
or
with the
before?
goal? No, just in like this whole like. Why are we like? Is the goal to have a dark Yoda? Like what? A dark Grogu?
Wait, whose goal?
Of the people chasing baby Yoda around. Oh,
I mean, yeah, I think. Well, for one, I just think Jedi and the Force, people who can use the Force, are the most powerful people in the galaxy. Period.
Right? We can just say that. Yeah, that's why I was like,
get this dude and groom him for whatever purpose you want, then you just have a bunch of power at your fingertips. I think that's the same thing with Anakin, why they wanted Anakin, why they wanted
Well, Anakin was prophesized to be like a very dangerous member of the Force. That I remember.
Yeah.
Because Qui-Gon Jinn, like Anakin was a part of some prophecy.
Before that,
I don't know about this.
Before the dangerous, the very first thing that he was prophesized was just to have massive, massive Force potential.
Yes.
And that's when everybody was like, ooh.
Yes.
We can get that guy on our side.
Yeah.
And also the same with Han's son, Kylo.
Yeah.
He had a crazy amount of Force potential. So that's why I think that's when the Sith and the Empire just like, oh, let's groom him for power.
Yeah. So that's like part of me wonders is like, is this baby another Force MacGuffin?
I think so.
Force power.
I definitely think so. I think Star Wars is just Force MacGuffin, right? Like that is Star Wars. It's just
I feel like
controls the Force wins.
I feel like Mando's pulling away from that a little bit though, which I like.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we gotta have Jedi in here because you gotta hear that sound. Yeah. You gotta hear the. You don't get that sound otherwise. But
I agree.
Now switching over a little bit, I am just loving the idea of like a Mandalorian Jedi. I love the idea of a little baby using Force powers but being trained like a Mandalorian.
And there were in history. There were Mandalorians that used Force powers.
Yeah, they did talk about, because I guess at one point they were enemies, but at one point they were also like heavy allies. So.
And I think that's how the Darksaber came about. The dude who made it had like Force powers and was kind of walking the line, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. I think I mentioned before, I'm really enjoying Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
I especially love now that she somehow accidentally bathed in the living waters, and she's like kind of walking the way,
and she's feeling it a little bit. She's like,
I'm enjoying it.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm enjoying, like, they're kind of tricking her into their religion.
Yeah. And man,
they're like, you're the party leader. You get to sit here and eat with your helmet off.
And she's like,
in the around the fire. I was like, she's like, privilege.
I get to just come here and be y'all's leader. Like, y'all just respect me like that. Like,
the privilege of a warm face while you eat alone.
Because we all know how much she likes being the leader of stuff, and how much she liked being the leader of that old group and how sad she was when they all just left her.
Look, I wanted to bring this up because I wanted to be like, all right, here's Tiz's. They just lift their helmet up and feed shit under. No, they all go into
a different direction.
They go find a place to be alone and unseen.
Yo, I promise you, he's hit that move before on screen. He's hit that move. I promise you, he has. He's hit that move.
It's not the way, brother.
He's hit that move before.
It's not the way.
It was just a sip though. It was like a sip of something. But yeah, I thought it was funny though that they gotta go find your corner. Everybody find a corner. Disperse.
Yeah. Everybody here's your rations. Go find your corner.
Can never eat together.
And then it's like sad. They all leave, and then she's just like,
yeah.
I'm like, you still gotta do the double check, because I was like, what if somebody's like, like,
gotcha.
That would be so fucked up if like somebody's just like, gotcha. Gotta go back to the living waters.
The Dave Chappelle me and gotcha. That was fun.
I was waiting for one Mando to come back while she was like mid helmet.
It would be Paz Vizsla if anybody. He would be the one to do it.
That asshole.
He's a jerk.
I refuse to believe he scaled that cliff with that big ass Like,
oh, the whole episode, I was like, his jetpack should be working the least because he has so much weight on him. There's no way he should be chasing this pterodactyl this evening.
I was like, his what do you even call that? Like machine, like
Gatling.
Yeah, his Gatling hybrid turret.
Yeah,
it's like attached.
Why is it attached to his jetpack? Should it use the same fuel?
But I'm glad they did kind of answer that question, because I always wondered if those jetpacks ran out of fuel. And now we know they do.
I wonder where they get fuel from, though.
That's what I was wondering too. I'm like, okay, now we've never seen him fuel it.
Yeah,
either.
like, are y'all just stuck until you go to some planet that has a gas
But I'm
station?
like, they are always mad ready to just jump out in the air and just. They put way too much faith in that jetpack. Is all I'm saying. Now, do you like that Mando is the only one rocking a cape? You're our resident cape expert.
I love capes.
Do you like how he like throws it over the jetpack? At first,
I was mad because I'm like, that's a waste of a cape, bro. Like, if the cape's not gonna be down, but now it's kind of swag. I'm not gonna lie.
Now you're like, you can recognize him by his cape.
Yeah, it's kind of swag. It's kind of swag. Capes. And his armor's so shiny compared to everybody else. He's got the rich people armor. Out. Everybody else has the poverty busted up like dingy armor.
I was looking around. I was like, I bet all y'all like regret going for a color scheme now.
Yeah.
Now that you see the Mando's chromed out.
I'm like, they're climbing. The sun's bouncing off his back, probably blinding them. So they probably got to climb like half.
But he's got the one ashy knee guard.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, get that shit replaced. Where you at, bro?
Y'all ran out of Beskar.
He's been giving all his new pieces to Grogu.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why he hasn't gotten a new one yet.
The spear, I forgot the spear with his armor was made out of the spear and stuff.
Dude, I love that spear. I'm sorry. I really liked him.
Seemed like a good weapon.
I wanted
like a really
some more
useful
of
weapon.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you turned an attack weapon into a defense.
And I'm like, Grogu's over here about to be so clunky he can't move anymore. He's just in a can of
gigantic chest plate.
Can't even button his robe up anymore.
I was like, he's not gonna be able to do his little flips.
Yeah,
he's gonna be too heavy.
It's hilarious.
We have to talk about that. How did you feel
his Jedi
about
flips?
The Challenger?
Oh yeah,
get him into the foundling fights.
I didn't understand like the rules of that fight because like the kid would shoot him and wait. And then
I was like, wait, if you could just rapid fire, why didn't he just pop?
Yeah. Was he taking it easy on him? I didn't fully understand.
I think he was.
But
yeah, I loved all the hate of like, I just loved like everyone sizing up Grogu.
He ain't got no helmet. He can't do this. He ain't real.
They're like, why are you putting this baby in danger? Stop putting this baby in danger.
Yo, don't worry about it. Y'all ain't know Yoda was like that. Y'all ain't know what his race is like. Put some respect on that.
I love that Mando's just like, Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just ready. Watch. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Just watch. Yeah. He got so much.
Even Grogu's like,
you sure? You sure, fam?
Am I ready? Wanted to ask, 2 episodes ago, did we get Grogu's first words? Was Grogu trying to say "this is the way" when everyone else was saying that?
It kind of sounded like it. Yeah.
I was like, yo, he's saying it.
He's mouthing words now. Like.
And then another question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because this lines up with what you just said. Are we gonna get a goofy ass Mando helmet with Yoda ears sticking out of it when he does get his helmet? Is it gonna be like big ass ears sticking out the whole side, like the sides?
I know.
How do you put that in a helmet?
Yeah. I keep thinking like, because whenever these questions come up in my head, I'm like, all right, the show's just not gonna get that far, right? Like the point is for him to be a baby. Like they're never gonna time skip ever, right? Right?
He's gotta get.
You know what I mean?
Helmet.
Like
he's gotta get his.
Are we ever gonna see teenage Grogu? Like
we got teen Groot. I never thought I would see teen Groot.
yeah. But it would take like what, 50 more years? Like
I mean, they time skipped his Jedi training. Why not?
No, I'm saying like if we get a time skip where he ages anything like significantly, all of the Mandalorians would have to be old men.
That's
you know what I mean? Because they're all not
that's what I'm
humans.
saying. I feel like we could just get a little helmet.
Yeah, they could do it. I think they could. It can't be until he talks though. He's got to be able to talk to say the creed to get the helmet. So it can't be until he can talk. Yeah.
Babu, babu, babu.
I feel like he should be able to talk already. Like he's smart enough to be able to talk if he just tried.
He should be able to talk into someone's mind.
Yeah,
with the Jedi, with the Force,
mind tricks or something.
I think I do have to say I think they're pandering to me, making Bo-Katan's sigil a night owl. I think that's a little suspiciously close to me.
And her helmet, you notice her owl helmet? She has the eyes and stuff.
When they said when the armorer was like, "Do you want me to embed the sigil of the owl?" That's when I noticed the
helmet.
On her helmet.
Yeah. I like her helmet.
And I was like, now she's got the mythosaur.
And then the owl on the other side, right?
And the owl.
Yeah.
I love the whole I love the armorer for one, because she's clearly our Yoda. Yeah. With her speech pattern.
She's wise. Yeah.
And then I would like to know how old she is actually.
I want to know what race she is.
That too.
First.
But I love that. Yeah, she's like, Bo's like, what would you say if I told you I saw a mythosaur? And she's just like, we all see them. It's our sigil.
Nice dream. She was like,
and then she's like, no, for real though.
She's like,
this is the way.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm like. She doesn't even flip. She's just like, if you saw it, then you saw it, bitch. Saw it,
yeah. You were chosen.
She does the same thing to Mando.
Yeah.
He's like, how do I bathe in the waters of a planet that's destroyed? And she's like, this is the way.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know. If it's meant to be, you'll figure
that shit out, bitch.
Yeah, you'll figure it out if you're meant
to. When he said he bathed in the waters after he came back, she didn't immediately disbelieve him like everyone else. She was just like, these is the waters.
Yeah, got no proof. Yeah.
She's too chill.
She's calm. She's very calm.
Way too calm. For someone whose race of or creed has been almost entirely wiped out. Yeah. She's way too calm.
She's super chill.
With her beating people with her tongs and hammer.
I love in shows and movies and stuff where you can have a character that you never see its face, but it's always identifiable. The character is super unique and identifiable, but you never see their face. I love that.
Have you heard her connections? That people have been making connections with her to Darth Maul.
No, I haven't.
Have you heard anything about that? Mm-mm. I don't. Now that once they said that and then put Darth Maul next to her with the helmet, I was like, I could see. I was like, I see the little.
She could. Oh yeah, she could be that race. Yeah.
I was I could see that.
She could definitely be that race. That would be cool.
Do they live a long time?
Probably.
I feel like she's
probably longer than humans.
She's talking to Din. She was that age when he was a child. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I think she's been around for a minute.
Star Wars is one of those where I just assume every race that's not human lives longer than normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where's the race that only lives for 17 months?
Like a fly.
And they're
or
all desperate and shit. Yeah.
The bug race.
Yeah, and they use them for slaves or something.
Yeah, they don't live very long. That's probably not Ewoks, the little dudes with the shadow faces that scavenge stuff. I feel like they don't live long. They probably live 15 years.
Well, we found out that Jawas. What's her name? Peli dated Jawas.
Oh, is that why she knows the language?
She said that. She was like, I dated one.
I missed that.
Ew.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's
She's
weird.
they're very furry. Very furry. And you're like,
ew. Ew.
But yeah, she that's why she can talk to him. She's like, I dated a Jawa once. I was like, ugh.
That's gross. That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I'm picturing a creature that he visits it one time and then 2 episodes later he visits it and it's a grandpa. It has 3 generations of kids now.
Already? Yeah.
And he's like, it's only been 2 years, bro.
His life is just hyper fast, fast forward. That's hilarious.
But yeah, I'm excited for where Mando's going.
Yeah.
I love these little training arcs and stuff. I love this random adventure of we're just gonna go hunt this monster, stealing children from the Mandalorian.
I was gonna say that's one thing I gotta applaud this show for is they make really mundane, not high stakes stuff look very impressive and big and set piecey. They're not doing anything crazy. They're just
I just
quests.
Said why
they make
the
side
hell
quests look cool.
Why the hell are y'all training at this cove where giant creatures just come eat Mandalorian babies? Because that's all that happens, apparently. They go out there and they fight on the beach, and then some giant creature comes and takes one, and they just go.
So much so that the highest honor for a Mandalorian is saving a foundling. That's how much they probably get attacked.
Well, I just said, I was like, if y'all are trying to rebuild your numbers, you need to get a little bit better at defending.
This is not the way.
The cove.
Yeah. Get some walls or something.
When their jetpacks ran out and he was like, they always get away. I was like, what the fuck? It's they always get away. I was like, shoot that shit.
It's maybe just don't be so out in the open.
But yeah, that's why I loved when all their jetpacks gave out and then just see Bo come flying with the ship and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, she thought she ran back for the ship when everybody
else
flew
I'm smarter
out.
than all these motherfuckers.
She is a nice ship too. She got like, her ship is way nicer than Mando's.
I like how it can switch directions.
Yeah.
What? More nicer than the N1, bro?
Her ship is nicer than Mando's.
Nicer than the N1, bro?
Mando's driving like a motorcycle compared to like a Lamborghini. Her drone like a Lamborghini.
I don't know. His
got the advanced features. His was a fixer-upper when he first found it.
Yeah, but now he's like nimble and shit now.
No, he's nice with it. Don't get me wrong. He's good at flying. He's a nice pilot.
I get hyped when he gets in that ship now.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, Bo did that like 180 stop.
Yeah, where the wings flied up and then.
Yeah, and then she turned off her fuel and did the flip. Yeah, that's pretty hot.
Her ship is cool.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. I like now that I think of when I watched that part of Boba Fett and they were fixing the ship and Pelly's like, you want that shitty, what was it called? Like the Rogue's Crest or something? Yeah. She's like, you want that shit back now?
Yeah.
Because he was all sad when he lost that ship.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh my God. So yeah, that's about where I am.
Nah, man, that was great, man.
Now that we're in the season finale of My Hero, though, I'll be able to finish High Card because that show is just hard to watch week to week. Like it's fun, and you just want to like binge it. Yeah, so I will probably be finishing it.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's really fast, so the episodes go by really fast. Yeah.
Word. Oh, and real quick, just so you don't get mad at me if you take this as a recommendation, I talked before I watched one episode of Lycra's Recoil. I watch more now. It's.
Oh wait, you talked when you only watched one episode?
Yeah, and I made it. I said some things like, "Oh, you might like it. It might be," but don't take that as a recommendation because you very much might not like it because I don't like it that much anymore.
Okay. So that happens sometimes, man. I try like. I think when we come up on this next season, like I don't think it's a bad thing if we wait a couple weeks in
to see what's
But yeah, that's why it's hard to recommend. Like we usually come back later and recommend things. It's hard to because sometimes that first episode they really do make an impression in it's like that one the one assassin one where the girl gets isekai into the world to kill other isekai heroes.
Yeah. I remember.
And it was like it started off so hype and then it just I get that.
And I'm not even going to say it's bad, but I just know for me, this is not my genre.
Yeah.
Typically.
Sometimes.
Like, it's a little too lighthearted.
Cutesy.
Yeah, cutesy, lighthearted, all that stuff.
So, because, I felt that way. I was worried that Akiba Maid's War would go like that, but then they still had, like, the Yakuza drama movie. Yeah. So, it, like, tried to ground itself a little bit.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we are swiftly approaching the spring season of anime, so you'll probably
there's some stuff there.
Well, Jigoku Raku's finally coming out.
Is that Hell's Paradise?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think seeing
that's
that.
Finally coming out. So
trailer.
Excited for that. But yeah, so we'll get there when we get there. No rush. We still have stuff to watch. I've got a friend who keeps mentioning this season's Mob Psycho, and I'm just like, I keep being like, I haven't watched it yet. No, that they want to watch it, but I'm just like, I haven't seen it, but I haven't heard great things.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I've got a vacation coming up soon. I'll probably be cleaning up this list here.
I've heard people call this like amazing though, like this season, but I think for me, I can tell.
Depends.
I think it's like a relatability thing where it's like, I'm so far past the topics that they're touching on in this. Like they're really talking about high school stuff in this, like middle school stuff, not even high school. And I'm like, I'm so far in my life past this that I don't relate to this that much.
It's hard.
This specific topic.
I completely understand that.
Yeah. So I'll be interested to see what you think when you do watch it.
Nice. But yeah, I'm hoping to get it through it. Got vacation next.
It's only 13 episodes, I think. 12, 13.
Yeah. They're not usually long at all. Yeah. I just have not had to. I am officially farther than I've ever been in the original Paper Mario. Like, I'm seeing stuff I do not recognize. So I was like, this has to be farther than I've ever been.
Yeah.
But Jesus, this game, I've got like 11 hours in this game.
Oh my God.
It is so long.
JRPG. I mean, it is technically a JRPG.
I'm like, Paper Mario on it. And I'm like, some of the games, you're like, I can believe this was on a cartridge. Dude, it's almost hard to believe this game was on a cartridge.
Yeah. Honestly.
It feels so big.
They cram stuff in there.
Yeah, so it's making me more excited to get to 1,000 Year Door.
Also, surprisingly, Paper Mario 1 and 1,000 Year Door not on Switch at all. not on Switch in any capacity.
Yeah, it's
crazy
infuriating.
It's crazy.
Because those were like, I don't think any Paper Mario since Thousand Year Door has gotten nearly like even half as much of acclaim as Thousand Year. So that's what makes me sad.
No Mario RPG period since Thousand Year Door, I don't think has.
What other Mario RPGs are there?
Oh, there's
outside
a whole
of Paper
bunch.
Mario?
The entire Mario and Luigi series is it's like 4 JRPGs.
Okay.
Most of them on
I did play a
handhelds,
little bit of those.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like 4 different versions of that, John.
Gotcha.
And they're good. It's just
I
Paper
did play
Mario's.
those. It's fun.
Paper Mario's top tier.
Yeah, because I'm like these characters, man. I'm like we got Fat Shy Guy. His name's Gourmet Guy.
Yeah.
This dude is the size of a room, and then he's like, I'm a shy guy, but they call me Gourmet Guy. And he's like, I don't know why they call me that. I'm like, bitch, all you do is eat, son.
It's got so much personality.
Then we had like there was a battalion of shy guys, and they had a general guy.
Yeah.
I was like, and he's like dressed like a goddamn Jotaro.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's the only Mario where shy guys get personality. The only like anything else they're just flying in or something weird.
There's a girl Boo like with a lot of sass. Like
personality.
The best Mario characters live in the Paper Mario.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hands down.
Absolutely.
Like
100%. All the side characters, the sidekicks you get to walk around with you. What is it, Goombette? Isn't that the girl Goomba from Thousand Year Door?
I think that's 1000 because right now I'm with Goombario.
Goombario.
Goombario is my personal snitch. He tells me about everything.
Just being on a team with a Goomba is funny. Like just
a Goomba, a Koopa.
When you've been genociding them since the dawn of time.
I have a flying fish named Sushi.
Really?
That's my newest. And then there's one companion that's just a little spark, and he has a pacifier in his. And his name's Wiley.
Yeah.
So random.
And then by the end, like I don't know if you're like me, where you always end up having your favorite sidekick that's the one you want to have out all the time.
Oh no, I keep the AOE sidekick, the one that hits everybody.
Everything. Yeah.
Which right now is the Koopa.
Utility.
He hits when I'm coming up against 4 enemies at a time.
Because of the shell, right? It'll like bounce.
Yeah. And he can go boop, bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah.
And when you're fighting enemies where they will call in another enemy at full health.
Yeah.
It's really nice to be able to take them all out
at once. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm just overly impressed with this very old game that I never got through as a child because I was way stupid.
I want to go back and play Super Mario RPG.
Yeah, no, never. That game is so dead looking to me. That's why I was like, I'll just play Paper Mario. I can't go back to the SNES.
That far. It was weird.
It was like it would be like bricks.
Yeah.
It'd be like a wall of bricks on a black background.
Yeah. The planes were weird. Like the dimensions were off a little bit.
Yeah, it's like they didn't know how to set it up.
Yeah. The angles and camera angles and stuff were kind of off.
Do that, I'll just watch you play.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, as always, if we missed anything, you can email us. Email us at Sibling Rivalry Clash, all one word, siblingrivalryclash@gmail.com. I'm just going to make Tiz make a new account called src@gmail.com.
Why SRC?
Because it's shorter. It's even shorter. No, just kidding. Email us at siblingrivalryclash, all one word, @gmail.com, or you can tweet at us at srclash_pod.
Preferably tweet because I'd be forgetting to check the email. I had to take it off my phone because there was so much spam that I just could not deal with it.
He can't handle the well, that's not an excuse. He will check the emails when you send them to him.
Yeah, now I just have to check it on my computer, which doesn't notify me. So I have to just remember to do it.
And until next week, I'm going to try and dig into Dead Space, but I will most likely be playing the Resident 4 remake.
Yeah, Dead Space will be around. It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. It's just getting higher resolution while I wait. It's just getting better.
Yeah. Honestly.
What about you, Tiz? What are you doing? Diablo, you're no life in it. Got it.
Well, no, Diablo's over now until June. So I'm just gonna be crying about it. Honestly, I'm gonna be trying to fill the gap with Diablo-like games. Probably some Diablo 3 in there, some Outriders. Some just looking for loot.
Just fiending.
Loot pinata games.
You're just gonna be
100%.
While you're trying to fill that need.
Fill the gap. Oh, I've been playing custom Robo Arena. I'm trying to get through that. Old school slept on classic.
It took me about 3 days, but I finally figured out where the Hunter x Hunter manga dropped off from the show, so I'll probably be trying to figure out those secrets.
You mean where the show stopped and it kept going, or like?
I figured out where to pick up the manga from where the show stopped.
Got you.
Yes.
Yeah. Right before Dark Continent, right? Basically.
Yeah, kind of, but there's some weird overlap between that council and
where you meet Jing.
Killua's sister.
Yeah. I remember all that stuff. Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it's a little boy that looks like a little girl or if it's just a little girl.
His demonic sister with no eyes and mouth. Yeah.
Mine.
Creepy.
But yeah. So until then,
guys,
give me
your liver, please.
Whether it's iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Castbox, or some other service I am unaware of. Libsyn, is that a thing?
Probably.
You know where to find us. Listen in, give us that feedback that we need to live. Tell us what you want to hear us talk about. Tell us if you want more stuff to happen. Tell us if you want the episode to be shorter or longer. Yeah. But yeah, until then,
be back.
I'll be here dying over and over and over.
Yeah.
For perfection. Perfect runs.
Perfect runs.
I've always wanted to do a no hit Leon
shaving.
run.
Oh my god.
Just running with my gun like this.
You gonna do the knife only run?
Spins.
You gonna do the knife only run?
Hell no.
Or the no upgrade run?
Yeah.
Pistol only, no upgrade?
When I send you my video clip, you get to see all my sick katas. Right? Because instead of just like one knife swipe, there's a jab.
Yeah.
And there's a swipe.
Oh, you got some combos.
There's like a button difference. I always practice. I'm like jab, slice.
Yeah.
Jab, slice.
Yeah.
You don't know when you're gonna run out of ammo.
Tools for the scenario. Tools for the right scenario. You know.
Got to keep Leon fresh.
Yeah, you got to. It's important.
But all right, y'all. I'm out of here.
All right, y'all. We out. Peace.
Bye.